Jaguars football on the Jaguars television network is brought to you by Bud Light Music First. It's the sound of history being made. Here we go. By Geico. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance. Visit us at geico.com or call 1-800-947-AUTO. By Everbank, Jacksonville's home for banking, lending, and investing. And by Baptist Health, changing healthcare for good. A warm, overcast night in Jacksonville, Florida, moments away from kickoff between Philadelphia and Jacksonville. And earlier this week, the quarterback battle was settled, but then the quarterback who was named the starter not going to be able to start tonight or the rest of the preseason. With more on that, we welcome in the third member of our crew, Tara Bars.
Good evening, guys. You know, Blaine Gabbert told me earlier this week, he said, not to sound arrogant, but it was something that I expected. He said he went out there to claim the starting job, and he got it. So he will get the start against Kansas City. Now, Chad Henne told me this morning he is ready and focused for tonight's game. He says he is a tempo guy, so he is very excited about the up-tempo offense tonight. He says you will see him push it as fast as he can go. He says he's ready to feed whoever has the hot hand this evening. Guys, back to you.
Well, Tara, a big night, Mark, for Chad Henne. A chance to show that if for some reason Blaine Gabbert falters or continues to stay injured, that he can lead this team. He's got a chance to prove himself with a lot of weapons tonight.
Well, Kevin, you're exactly right. He's got Cecil, he's got Justin, Maurice Jones-Drew's in the backfield. The pieces are in place. He's looking forward to this opportunity. Over the course of the season, the backup quarterback has an important role. This won't be the first time that he gets an opportunity to get on the field. He's certainly looking forward to it. Talking to him before the game, he's thrilled about this and knows he has a big challenge going against the Eagle defense.
Well, there's no question that this is a big challenge on both sides of the ball for Gus Bradley's Jacksonville Jaguars. There's the first-year head coach of the Jags, and talking with him earlier today, we said, well, it's a good opportunity for your team tonight. And he interrupted. He said, no, this is a great opportunity for our team tonight. He's excited to see what his defense can do against a fast-tempo Philadelphia offense, and he's excited to see continuing strides from his offense. He found some good things, and speaking of that fast tempo, Chip Kelly in his first season as Philadelphia head coach trying to really up the tempo to what he had at Oregon as a longtime college coach out there of the Oregon Ducks, bringing that tempo to the National Football League, and they've been trying to continually ramp it up. This could be a fast-paced game on both sides for the offenses because both want to keep the tempo going.
Well, if you're a fan of up-tempo offenses, you're watching the right game. The Jaguars plan to use the up-tempo. Obviously, the Philadelphia Eagles with Chip Kelly, they plan to move the ball. You know, the Eagles are averaging 15 seconds per snap, which is unheard of in the NFL. And the questions are, can Chip Kelly's read option work at this level? And it remains to be seen. But we're going to see certainly the opportunity for Michael Vick and his team to show that it can. It'll be a good football game.
Back deep for the Eagles, Damaris Johnson, the second-year man out of Tulsa, awaiting the kickoff from Josh Scobie for the Jacksonville Jaguars. A little rain earlier today, but it has been dry for most of the afternoon and evening. Field in great shape, and we are ready for the third preseason game. Scobie's kick, a shorter kick. Johnson from the goal line. And Johnson across the 20 before being knocked out of bounds. And this Eagles offense will come on the field first. Przezinski on the stop for Jacksonville. And we'll get our first look at this offense led by quarterback Michael Vick. Speaking of naming a starter, he was named the starting quarterback this week. And the numbers for Michael Vick in the preseason have been tremendous. 13 of 15, 199 yards, the touchdown, the interception. He and Nick Foles were listed as co-number ones the first 2 weeks. Michael Vick is going to be the starting quarterback in week 1 when the Eagles open at Washington. Play action on first down. Vick on the run. Jason Avant along the sidelines, able to pull it in with an acrobatic catch at the 42 and a first down for Philadelphia.
Well, Kevin, that is vintage Michael Vick. That's what he's been doing for the last 11 years. You look at the replay, there's your read option. He gets outside the pocket, looks downfield. Boy, he has the ability to hurt some people with his legs.
Vick in some trouble. He eludes one man and is dropped. Roy Miller at the 36-yard line with the sack of Michael Vick.
Well, Gus Bradley challenged his defensive line this week. We want to get after the quarterback. Michael Vick can create some problems with his legs. The defense did a great job getting some penetration. Got in Michael Vick's face. He scrambles out to the right, but not enough. Great sack.
Second down and 16 now at the 36. Vick again overthrows his tight end Brent Selleck at the 40-yard line of Jacksonville, and the pressure forcing Vick to step up into that pocket once again. And they'll face a long third down, and the Eagles offensive starters scrolling there at the bottom of your screen, led by quarterback Michael Vick. Third down and 16 at the 36. Dump off to McCoy. And McCoy well short of the first down. Tackled by Geno Hayes, and the Jaguars defense up to the challenge early.
Well, a great start for the Jaguars defense. That last play, they got in two high safeties. Tried to force Michael Vick to throw it underneath. Michael did, but it wasn't enough to convert the first down. Good start for the Jaguar defense.
Chip Kelly's offense forced to punt. Donnie Jones on to punt for the Eagles. Back deep for the Jaguars, Jordan Shipley. This is an area that everybody's looking for Jacksonville. The rush got to Jones, just got rid of it. The backup punt returner role going to be a big role to keep an eye on tonight, as Shipley with the fair catch near the 10. The defense up to the challenge for Jacksonville. The pass rush forcing Michael Vick to the turf. The offense when we return. No score, 13:25 remaining first quarter. Good start for the Jacksonville defense, and now our Gatorade primed to perform on the offensive side of the football. It's quarterback Chad Henne. The numbers in the preseason, 12 of 21 for 117 yards, but Chad Henne's going to get a big opportunity tonight, Mark. He's going to go into the second half running this offense.
Well, Gus likes Chad Henne. Just said earlier today that he's a true pro. Prepares well, understands defenses, makes good decisions, a great leader at the quarterback position.
Blackman and Shorts start at wide receiver. Maurice Jones-Drew starting at running back. And on first down, Mojo with the carry, and not a lot of running room as he runs right into the middle of that defensive line. Michael Kendricks on the tackle, and there's an injured Jag down near the 11-yard line. And it's a member of that Jaguar offensive line. They'll tend to him. We'll take a quick timeout. More on the injured Jaguar when we return. Will Rackley, the injured Jaguar, is on the bench being tended to. He was helped to the sideline a moment ago. Mark, let's look what happened.
Well, you look at Will Rackley on the left. He's gonna pull, and unfortunately, this comes at a really bad time. Will Rackley missing all last year with an ankle injury. Just get rolled up on there. Boy, that's too bad for that young man. Having a great camp.
And a big part of that offensive line that Jacksonville had back healthy again tonight with Jokel back in the starting lineup. Henne to throw, and looking for Shorts at the 30-yard line, and a sliding grab by Cecil Shorts III. Welcome back to the lineup with a terrific catch and a first down.
Well, they wasted no time getting to Cecil here. What a great route. He plants his left foot right there on a post route. Ball thrown a little bit low, but Cecil Shorts, that's what he's going to do. He's going to take those poorly thrown balls, and he's going to make them receptions.
First down at the 30-yard line. Maurice Jones-Drew with some running room. Breaks one tackle and picks up 8 to the 38-yard line. Patrick Chung able to bring him down after he went through Trent Cole's tackle. The Eagles defense at the bottom of your screen. They've switched defensive schemes in Philadelphia this year, now with a 3-4 defense.
And it presents a lot of protection issues for the Jaguars offense. That 3-4 is very difficult to protect, and it'll be a huge challenge for the Jaguar offense.
Henne changing things up on second down and 2. And the pass incomplete on the far sideline, looking for Cecil Shorts III again. Kerry Williams on the coverage. We should mention that in for Will Rackley, Mike Brewster came in and has taken over at that left guard spot.
Well, it comes as no surprise that Chad's going to throw to Cecil. He's missed the last 2 games, trying to get him game ready for the opener. What a great year Cecil Shorts had last year. Just 21 yards shy of 1,000 yards receiving.
Painful. Just 21 yards. It's one catch.
That's a tough one.
Brackett the motion man on 3rd and 2. They find Brackett, and Brackett leaning forward should have the first down. That extra little effort from Brackett as Patrick Chung tried to hold him short, but the second-year man from Penn State will move the chains.
What a great second effort, moving the chains there. Once again, Chad Henne making a very good decision, throws it in the flat. You see this extra effort by Brackett, just enough to get the first down.
From the 40-yard line, quick pass to Blackman. Blackman tripped up along the sidelines by Bradley Fletcher. Out at the 48, a pickup of 8 yards on first down. And now Blackman and Shorts, a couple of big weapons.
Well, this is exactly what Jedd Fisch wants to do with this offense. Short pass and let the receivers, let these skill guys, these offensive weapons, turn it into something. Blackman does just that on that play.
2nd down and 2. Maurice Jones-Drew near a first down. Fletcher Cox with the tackle just shy of midfield. Let's check in again with Tara.
All right, I talked to Justin Blackman just yesterday. He told me he's so excited to have Cecil back on the field tonight because it evens out the defense. He says he knows that they have something special.
Well, unfortunately for Jacksonville, this will probably be the last time they're on the field for any length of time until October. Justin, of course, out for the first 4 games this year. 3rd down and short. Maurice Jones-Drew, first down into Eagles territory, and a punishing run down to the 44-yard line of Philadelphia.
Well, Maurice Jones-Drew, he's known for his strength, his toughness, his durability. Unfortunately missing the 10 games last year, but he is anxious to show Jaguar fans and his teammates, the coaches, that he's still got it. He's got a lot of football left in him.
He'll get a breather now on first down and 10 at the Philadelphia 44-yard line. Denard Robinson into the backfield. Henne with all kinds of time. Blackman makes the adjustment and the catch out of bounds at the 21-yard line. A pickup of 23 and a first down.
Justin Blackman once again making a great play. You see here he's got press coverage. This is the old back shoulder throw. Well thrown ball by Chad Henne. Converts the first down. Chad Henne very accurate. When you're throwing to a guy like Justin Blackman, he makes it easy. Very good receiver.
They'll mark him at the 23, first down and 10. Robinson in some trouble. He made something out of nothing on that run. Denard Robinson gets back to the line of scrimmage, maybe a half-yard pass before D'Amico Ryans, in his 2nd year with the Eagles, could make the stop.
Well, Kevin, I am so impressed with Denard. He's shown some great effort. Has run through between the tackles. Tough young man for Michigan is going to do some very good things for the Jaguars this season.
Well, we're seeing that tempo again that Jedd Fisch likes to run. Not a lot of huddle up the line. So far it's been effective. Maurice Jones-Drew with a cutback and down to the 17-yard line. 5 yards on 2nd and 9. And it'll leave Jacksonville with a 3rd and manageable.
Well, this is a great opening drive. Obviously in scoring range, and you know, if you get inside the red zone, what you want to do, you want to give it to Maurice Jones-Drew. He's going to get you those tough yards. Obviously it starts with the offensive line. Those guys are playing physical. Very good first drive for this Jaguar. Let's see if they can get some points out of it.
Reminiscent of what we saw in the 2nd quarter last week in New York against the Jets. Last year you see the struggles on 3rd down. Jacksonville hoping to improve on that. 3rd and 4 from the 17. Henne to the end zone. Blackman's got the touchdown.
Boy, what a way to cap off this drive. Another accurate throw. Obviously, Chad Henne very comfortable in this starting role. 6-year vet from Michigan, very much in command, making good decisions. Goes to his first receiver, looks to his second, hits Justin Blackman on a corner route. Jaguars score.
What a start for this Jacksonville offense. The defense gets the stand, got a sack of Michael Vick. The offense from the 10-yard line goes 90 yards for the touchdown. Scobie on for the extra point. Brian Anger on the hold, and the kick is good. And with 7:52 remaining in the first quarter, not a bad start to this 3rd preseason game for Jacksonville as Justin Blackman finds the end zone for a 7-0 lead. Hey fans, you can stand united with Jaguars tickets. Call 904-633-2000. Option 2, reps are standing by. And not a bad start for the Jacksonville Jaguars. Offensively, the Jags take the field. How about a 12-play, 90-yard drive, Mark Brunell? That's not a bad way to start preseason game number 3.
And I tell you what makes that happen, the addition of Cecil Shorts, having Justin Blackmon. The 2 best receivers the Jaguars have had since Jimmy Smith and Keenan McCardell. No question about it. These guys can play.
You ought to know a little bit about those guys.
Yeah.
Threw a few passes to them.
Couple.
Morris Johnson back for the Eagles. And the kick from the 4-yard line. Johnson across the 20. The Jaguars are there to cover him up near the 24-yard line. And Scobie's kickoffs have been a little shorter than usual, but Mark, that's by design from this Jaguar squad.
You know, it's really interesting talking with Gus this morning. You know, he talked about he wanted to test his kickoff coverage. Normally you want a kicker to kick that out the end zone so you don't have to cover, but it's an opportunity for these young guys, these young players on special teams to make a name for themselves, to show the coaches that they can play at a high level and hopefully make this ball club for the Jaguars.
Przezinski's made 2 tackles on 2 kickoffs so far. Chris Przezinski, a good special teams guy over the course of his career as it is. From the 23 on first down, LaShawn McCoy into the second level, and McCoy tripped up at the 38-yard line, a 15-yard gain before Jonathan Cyprien could get him around the ankle.
Well, LaShawn McCoy, obviously very shifty. A great cut there as he cuts back to the right. LaShawn, 840 yards last year rushing. He's one of the weapons that Michael Vick is going to be counting on this season.
4th in the NFL with 34 total touchdowns over the last couple of years. And now Vick on that read option, and he is not going anywhere. Russell Allen in there to make the tackle. Allen back on the field after a little injury bug last week.
Well, it's good to have Russell back there, and very sound defensively. This is tough to defend. You're adding a ball carrier when you've got a quarterback running the read option.
Vick in some trouble and had to get rid of that one. Tyson Alu providing the pressure, and it'll bring up a 3rd down. And an update on Will Rackley. Let's check in with Tara.
An update on Rackley. I've been told that it is a left leg injury. There were no other specifics, just a left leg injury. He is out for the game. He's in the locker room now getting x-rays.
That is not good news for a Jaguars offensive line that wanted to have Will Rackley back. He missed all of last year. 3rd and 8 from the 40. 4-man rush for Jacksonville. Vick throws, Selleck with the catch. First down into Jacksonville territory, and Selleck all the way down to the 42-yard line. A flag down in the backfield, though. This may be coming back.
Yeah, it looks like it's going to be a holding.
Offense number 69. 10-yard penalty. Repeat 3rd down.
That's Evan Mathis, the 9th-year man out of Alabama, called for the hold.
What you see here is Michael Vick's looking downfield. That left tackle, that left guard just gets a hand there, and you just can't do that, Kevin.
Jeremy Mincy would agree. He was the holdee on that play. The holder being Evan Mathis. 3rd and 18 from the 30-yard line. Backside pressure. Vick forced to run, and he'll duck out of bounds well shy of the first down. And again, the Jacksonville defense providing some heat on Michael Vick, and the Eagles will punt.
Well, this is exactly what Gus Bradley wanted his defensive front to do. Get Michael Vick, get some pressure on him, forces him out of bounds there. Nothing downfield, well covered by the Jacksonville secondary once again.
Jason Babin was in hot pursuit. Of course, Babin cut by the Eagles in November last year. Think he's a little motivated for this preseason game?
I imagine so.
Back deep this time, Jeremy Ebert for Jacksonville. And Ebert down at the 30-yard line with 6:09 remaining in the first quarter. Jacksonville gets it back, 7-0 the lead on the Jaguars television. 7-0 Jacksonville, 6:09 remaining in this first quarter at Everbank Field. Fans, be a part of the Jaguars discussion taking place right now. Just go to #StandUnited and get involved. to talk about from this first quarter. Some defensive pressure, good coverage downfield for the Jaguars, and a very impressive opening drive for Jacksonville that netted a touchdown going 90 yards.
Well, it was a great drive. Chad Henne 5 of 6 for 67 yards and that touchdown pass to Justin. What I really like seeing, Kevin, was Maurice Jones-Drew. 5 carries for 22 yards, over a 4-yard average. We don't expect to see him a lot tonight, but what we have seen has been very good.
Little Wildcat action now. Denard Robinson in at the quarterback spot. And Maurice Jones-Drew gets the carry from the former Michigan quarterback. And Mojo burrows forward near the 34-yard line for a 4-yard gain, tackled by Isaac Sopoaga.
Well, I like what Jed Fish does here. He's creating some adjustments for the Philadelphia Eagles, whether they expected Denard to be out there. It's just a great asset to have an offensive weapon like Denard Robinson out there at the quarterback position doing the Wildcat.
2nd and 6. And Maurice Jones-Drew for a pair to the 36-yard line. Tackled from behind by Fletcher Cox. We've already called his name a couple of times tonight. The second-year man out of Mississippi State, now on the end of that 3-man front for the Eagles.
Go back to the up-tempo offense. You know, Chad just looks so comfortable on the field. He's in command. He's reading the defense. He has a lot of options that he can go to with his play call.
3rd down and 4 from the 36. Good protection. Throws it short, and it's incomplete. Maurice Jones-Drew, the intended receiver. Good coverage by the Eagles. Nowhere for Chad Henne to go, and the Jaguars will have to punt it away.
Chad got a little pressure in his face that time. Couldn't see downfield and opted to drop it off in the flat.
Here's Ken Parrish to punt to Damaris Johnson. He had a 98-yard punt return touchdown against Dallas a year ago. Ranked 2nd in the NFC in punt return average last year. Over 11 yards per return. Good punt from Parrish. Backs him up to the 9-yard line. Dancing around. Great coverage by the Jaguars. Nowhere for him to go, as Jordan Todman along with Blake were all over Johnson. So the Jaguars do their job on special teams. Defense back out when we return. 7-0 Jacksonville with a lead. 4:55 remaining in the first quarter. Mark Brunell as a quarterback. This is the best place to watch defense like this up here in the booth.
Well, I tell you what, the defense for the Jaguars getting after him. They're not allowing Michael Vick to get into rhythm. They're putting pressure on him, forcing him out of the pocket. Michael runs the ball there, gets nothing. Jaguars have got to be thrilled with the effort here in the first quarter.
Only 43 total yards and just 2 first downs for the Philadelphia Eagles and their high-tempo offense, and they've gotten pressure really with just a 4-man rush. We've not seen a lot of blitzing from Bob Babich and his defense. On first down from the 13. McCoy with the carry, and Paul Przlesny was right there in the hole. After a 1-yard gain, it'll be 2nd and 9. And Tara, you've got more on this Jaguars defense.
I sure do. This defense is fired up on the field tonight and off it as well. I was standing just about 10 feet away from defensive line coach Todd Wash as he was just screaming at the guys. Great game so far. Great game so far.
Well, he's got to be especially thrilled. His troops are charged with providing that rush, and so far so good. 2nd down. Vick with more time, and he finds an open man over the middle. That's Zach Ertz, the rookie tight end out of Stanford, and a first down to the 27-yard line for Philadelphia.
Well, Kevin, that's what's going to happen if you do give Michael Vick some time. Allowing him to stand in the pocket, look down the field, found an opening. Good enough for a first down.
Ertz, a guy they really like. 2nd-round pick this year in the draft. He's the highest drafted tight end by Philadelphia since Keith Jackson.
Impressive.
We've already got a good one in Brent Selleck. The 27, a first down for Philadelphia. Vick over the middle, and there's Ertz again. This time cannot pull that one in at the 47-yard line, falling back, and the coverage out there by Dwight Lowry.
Well, Dwight Lowry, a veteran free safety for the Jaguars. Gus Bradley said today about him, he's a leader. He's seen a lot of football. He does a great job for that young secondary. Very good football player for the Jags.
A lot of responsibility back there for him as well in this new Gus Bradley defense. As on 2nd down, Deshaun McCoy trying to find some running room. Just not a lot out there right now. Maybe a yard and a half to the right side. Send Derek Marks there to clog things up for Jacksonville.
Kevin, we're seeing a lot of up-tempo, aren't we? Not a lot of huddling tonight.
Well, I believe the official count is 4 huddles between the two offenses so far. 3rd and 8 from the 29. Pressure coming this time. Vick's in trouble, gets away, and this is what Michael Vick can do almost as well as anybody in the game. Scrambles for the first down to the 45-yard line, a pickup of 16.
Well, I tell you what, this is what Michael Vick does so well. It's important to get pressure on him, but you got to understand, when you play Michael Vick, he is going to get some yards on the ground. He has a great arm, strong arm, has thrown over 20,000 yards in his career. He's rushed for over 5,500, the most ever by a quarterback in NFL history.
He's still got a little bit of tread left on the tires, and he's been re-energized by this Chip Kelly offense. Named the starter this week, and on first down from the 45, the give to Bryce Brown. And Brown, running into that stout front of Jacksonville, picks up a couple to the 47-yard line.
See good penetration by the defensive front there. They're not allowing much room.
Kyle Love in there to grab him from behind. Another one of the new faces on that Jacksonville defensive line after 3 years in New England. Love there to make the stop. 2nd and 8 from the 47. And now we've got a timeout taken. The play clock was winding down. A little bit of confusion. Chip Kelly going to talk things over with Michael Vick and company.
30-second timeout.
Our referee is Bill Vinovich. 7-0 lead for Jacksonville. Is 2nd and 8 coming up for Philadelphia. And on the offensive side of the ball for Jacksonville, what a start on that opening drive. Starting from their own 10-yard line, Chad Henne wasted little time.
Well, his first pass, he goes right to Cecil. Obviously, he's going to give the ball to Mojo. Mojo's going to get some tough yards. Just a great drive.
Justin Blackmon along the sidelines, and then Henne says, how about number 14 again, capping the 90-yard drive with the touchdown pass and a 7-0 lead here late in the first quarter. Good start for Chad Henne, 5 for 7 in his first couple of possessions. 2nd and 8 now for Philadelphia at the 47-yard line. Vick with time, open man at the 35-yard line, and down to the 31 goes Deshaun Jackson. First time we've called that very talented wide receiver's name tonight, and he picks up 22.
Well, once again here, you give Michael Vick some time. He's going to find an opening. Certainly does there.
Right back to the line go the Eagles from the Jacksonville 31. Vick on the move. Vick got a block downfield and a first down. Good job by Bryce Brown, Mark, blocking downfield to open up a little extra running room for Michael Vick.
Well, I tell you what, those receivers, they are very aware that Michael Vick wants to run the football. Michael Vick, you get out of the pocket and you know you're going to run it. You give those receivers a go call. Let them know that you're going to run it, and they turn into blockers instead of receivers.
Eagles in the red zone at the 19-yard line, first down. Vick looking for his tight end, Brent Selleck, and he cannot connect. Coverage from Dwight Lowry. Ball a little overthrown, and it's 2nd down.
It was overthrown. Selleck had a step on him. And Michael just threw that a little too far. Opportunity for a touchdown there. Dwight Lowry, we talked about him earlier. He's seen a lot of football. He's covered a lot of tight ends in his day. Michael Vick just throws that a little bit too far.
If it gets a little more air on it, touchdown?
Absolutely. Put a little air under that. Let the tight end run underneath that for the catch.
From the 19 on 2nd down. McCoy in trouble, and he's down for a loss on the play. Jeremy Mincey with a big tackle after missing last week. He's back with a vengeance. What a play by Mincey.
Well, he was a game-time decision, and I bet the Jaguars are glad that they decided to play him. What a great play. Excellent. Gets upfield, reaches out those big arms, and pulls the running back down.
3rd down and 15 now after the loss of 5 on the tackle from Mincey. Winding down this first quarter. 3rd and long. Vick has time. Pressure late. Got rid of it to Selleck. Selleck breaks one tackle and is down short of the first down.
Well, we keep saying it. They're getting pressure on Michael Vick. When they get after him, when he doesn't have time to look down the field, he's going to throw it in the flat or he's going to throw it away. Smart decision by Michael Vick, getting it out, not taking a sack.
And the quarter comes to a close. Good start for Jacksonville. After one quarter, the Jaguars, on the strength of a 90-yard touchdown drive, have a 7-0 lead. Stay with us on the Jaguars Television Network. Well, earlier tonight, we saw several midget and peewee teams get the chance during Heads Up Football on USA Football Month, the chance to be out there and hold up the flag, and the Jaguars join the NFL in celebrating USA Football Month and recognizing the nearly 2,800 youth football leagues, 90,000 coaches, and 600,000 youth football players that have signed up to participate in Heads Up Football this season. Heads Up Football is a new program developed by USA Football and supported by the NFL, dedicated to making the game better and safer. Any parents of youth football players watching should ask if your child's coach is Heads Up certified. If they're not, send them to usafootball.com to be certified today. As Alex Henry bangs home the 30-yard field goal attempt to cap off the Eagles scoring drive and get Philadelphia on the board to start off this second quarter, and a 7-3 lead now for Jacksonville. But again, the defense, Mark, when they needed to come up with a stand on the Jacksonville side, they were able to do so, and Jeremy Mincey's tackle on the second down run put the Eagles in a big hole they couldn't dig out of.
Once again, they answer the call. Guess Gus Bradley has to be excited about the enthusiasm. They just seem to be playing with a passion, a lot of energy. They're flying around, making plays. So much talk has been put into this Chip Kelly's read option offense, and I think the Jaguar defense took that a little personal. They wanted to put a stop and answer the challenge that the coach gave them, and make sure that their defense was recognized. They're doing a great job tonight shutting down this very prolific offense.
Alex Henry ready to kick things off. Bernard Robinson deep for the Jacksonville Jaguars. Alex Henry, a guy who had never been known as a long kickoff guy, but during this preseason they've worked on his stride. Chip Kelly says he's changed his stride so he runs a little faster, and thus more kickoffs like that for Alex Henry than what we've seen in the first couple of years for Alex Henry in the National Football League.
Boy, if you have a kicker that can put it into the end zone and beyond the end zone, boy, you've got something. Those kickers are rare, are hard to find, but they're very important.
It's interesting to hear Chip Kelly talk about making little adjustments in stride. He's such a detail-oriented coach that's one of the details that sometimes would get overlooked. But he says just a little change in the stride adds a little bit more speed and a little bit more zip on the kickoff. From the 20-yard line, 1st down and 10. Kenny pressured late, and he's sacked. Cedric Thornton, who had a solid game last week for Philadelphia against the Panthers, comes up with the sack back at the 11-yard line.
Well, Chad doesn't have a lot of time. He's going through his reads right there and gets some push in his face, gets sacked. Eagles applying a little bit of pressure on their own.
First time tonight that Philadelphia's gotten to Chad Henne. Thornton had 1 sack last year. Second-year man out of Southern Arkansas. 2nd and 19 for Jacksonville, back at the 11-yard line. Henne pass deflected, and it is intercepted on the deflection at the 21-yard line. What a pick, athletically done by Connor Barwin.
Boy, Chad makes a pretty decent decision there. That was just a great play. Excellent athletic ability, staying with the ball, tips it up, stays with it as he falls on the ground. Big turnover for the Eagles.
It's a 265-pound man. The first year with the Eagles after 4 years in Houston. Barwin looking like a corner making that play. And now this Jaguars defense will be tested in a big way as they come out facing the Eagles, who are at the Jacksonville 21-yard line. Four receivers into the pattern for Philadelphia. Avant the motion man. Vick on 1st down with time. And down To the 10-yard line goes LaShawn McCoy, nudging it forward to the 9, where it'll be first down and goal after a 12-yard gain.
Well, a very wise decision by Michael. Nothing downfield. Very smart by him by just taking his check down, giving it to LaShawn McCoy. He gets some positive yards and gets inside the 10 for the Eagles.
First down and goal. Can Philadelphia cash in on a Jaguar turnover? Vick with time again to the end zone. Touchdown at the back of the end zone. Riley Cooper puts the Eagles on top.
Well, that can be really difficult. Sudden change like that for a defense. It's hard for any defense to put a stop to an offense. It starts inside the 20. Michael Vick stands there, looks across the field, finds an opening, and just fires it to Riley Cooper.
Cooper's first catch, fourth-year man out of Florida, and Philadelphia now with the lead as the extra point attempt coming from Alex Henry.
Boy, how quick a game can turn around.
And the turnover nets 7 points for Philadelphia as Michael Vick quickly strikes, finding Riley Cooper at the back of the end zone, and a 10-7 lead for Philadelphia. Kevin Kugler with Mark Brunell and Tara Bars from Everbank Field. Philadelphia with a 10-7 lead on the back of a Michael Vick touchdown pass to Riley Cooper. How'd he get open?
Well, look at Riley here. He's going to end up in the back of the end zone. It's fortunate that the receiver sets a pick inside for him. Michael Vick has the time, looks downfield, creates an opening in the back. A little breakdown in coverage. Riley Cooper does a good job finding in the back, finding that zone, and creating some separation for himself.
2 plays, 21 yards after the turnover. Jacksonville's 8th turnover of the preseason. Bernard Robinson from 3 yards deep. Robinson is explosive, gets across the 20-yard line. And at the 21 is where Chad Henne and the Jaguars will start with 13:35 remaining in the first half. Brandon Graham on the tackle for Philadelphia. Henne and the Jaguars, one thing that Gus Bradley's talked about with us really the last couple of weeks, building a culture of execution, and the turnovers are something that certainly going to frustrate a head coach when you're trying to execute the fundamentals and harps on those as much as they do during practice each week.
Yeah, 4 interceptions by Jaguar quarterbacks this preseason, 8 turnovers total. That has got to be cleaned up by opening day. That will absolutely kill a football team. At
the 21, first down. Henne under pressure. And Henne able to slide forward for about a yard to the 22-yard line. It'll be 2nd and 9.
Well, Chad Henne doing his impersonation of Michael Vick doesn't quite look the same, Kevin.
It's probably not the strength of Chad's game to be on the run.
Yeah, I don't think we're going to see that a lot tonight.
Henne looking right, looking left, nobody open. He's in trouble and he's sacked. Back at the 19-yard line. Terrific coverage by the Eagles, and then Michael Kendricks able to finish off Chad Henne for a loss back to the 19.
Well, you can see Chad looking to the right. It's supposed to be a quick screen. Unfortunately, you can't see it on your screen. Both receivers run downfield, and that's something that just can't happen. You can't have your starting quarterback get hit like that. Probably would have been best if Chad just threw it away, not take that hit. It's too important. He needs to be on that field. Cannot take that punishment from those defensive ends.
3rd down and 12 now at the 19-yard line.
That's pressure.
Henne takes a little hit as he got rid of it. And the pass incomplete, intended for Blackman. The pressure again collapsing on top of him. Trent Cole got there for Philadelphia.
Well, Trent Cole's certainly a weapon. You can see him going against Michael Brewster here, young quarterback. Trent Cole has been a very good player for the Eagles for a long time. Brewster had his hands full on that play.
Trent Cole's got a challenge this year, though, moving to outside linebacker. Usually has a hand on the ground. That's where he's a little more comfortable as a pass rusher. Johnson up on that one at the 35. A fingertip heel. Fumbles the football. Loose on the turf. The Jags have it at the Philadelphia 44-yard line.
Well, that's exactly what the Jaguars needed. They needed to get a turnover, and they do it on special teams. Gus Bradley talked earlier today how important it was for his special teams to add up, to play at a better level, and they're certainly doing that.
It was Andy Studebaker who recovers the fumble as it bounces up, able to snare it, and a big break for Jacksonville as they get it back in Philadelphia territory. The hit by Preseason initially jarred it loose, and Studebaker there to cover it up.
There's one guy that's making a name for himself. Number 42 there on your screen, Preseason. Very good player in the secondary. Obviously, he's going to help this football team in special teams. Mike Mallory looking for about 8 core guys on his special teams. And Preseason is certainly one of those guys.
Maybe Andy Studebaker can be one as well. Philadelphia draft pick back in 2008. From the 44, first down and 10. And he changing things up, the play clock at 5. Robinson right between the tackles, and Denard down to the 39. 5-yard gain for the offensive weapon before Trent Cole could make the stop.
Well, the Jaguars are committed to this up-tempo offense. Doing a very good job. Chad Henne very much in command, reading the defense. He's got to put some stress on the defense.
On 2nd and 5, pressure coming, and Henne able to get rid of it to Brett Brackett. Just about a yard shy of the first down. That pressure hot and heavy from Michael Kendricks, and Chad Henne just got rid of that.
Well, no doubt about it. Chad Henne stood in that pocket. He could feel that pressure. We got a hitch route, 5-yard curl route on the outside. You see that defender coming right through. Chad got it off just in time.
3rd down and 1. Todman in at running back. Play action. And Henne's pass deflected at the line, and it's incomplete. It was Michael Kendricks again. Boy, has he been active for the Eagles the last 2 possessions.
Well, that's unfortunate. You'll see a receiver come open right there. Unfortunately, that ball gets batted down. Might have been thrown a little low. Hit him right in the chest. Good thing he didn't catch that thing.
Jacksonville's going to roll the dice and go for it here. 4th and 1 at the Philadelphia 35-yard line. Todman has the first down and more. Todman breaking tackles down to the 20-yard line. They needed 1, and Jordan Todman picked him up 14 and a first down.
Well, it's a great call by Jed Fish. Off tackle play to the right. Huge challenge for the offensive linemen. They do a great job. They seal the edge. What a great block by Pryor there. Todman gets that first down.
He's locked in a battle with Will Tafoe at that fullback spot. And Lonnie Pryor with a crushing block at the 21, slipping down after about a half-yard gain. This time is Jordan Todman. Covering him up is Patrick Chung, and it's 2nd down. Jags continuing to try to keep the pressure on with a solid first half offensively. We saw a good first half offensively, especially 2nd quarter last week in New York. Second down and 9. Play clock slips under 10. Robinson to carry. And Denard Robinson, look at him push the pile. Denard Robinson, after initial contact, gets a couple more yards down to the 16-yard line. A hard 4 yards for Denard Robinson.
He's showing some strength. I like his toughness. I like his willingness to run in between the tackles. He's a young man that is willing to do anything the coaches ask him to do, and they're going to ask him to do a lot this season.
So now split out in the slot to the top of your screen. We've already seen him at quarterback tonight. We've seen him running back. Now he's at wide receiver. On 3rd and 5. Henne, lots of time. Pressure comes late, and Henne is going to be dropped for a loss of 1 at the 17-yard line. Nobody open for Chad Henne, and he had to try to get rid of it. Instead, took the sack.
Well, Chad Henne in that pocket, he's very patient. He's looking for his reads. Very smart for him to just get downfield. You see these receivers, they are covered. There is nowhere to go. Chad Henne very smart, securing the ball, making sure they stay in field goal range.
And Josh Scobie on to try a 35-yard field goal. Trying to tie this one up. Scobie's kick, plenty of distance, plenty of accuracy, and we're all tied up at 10. Each team able to capitalize on a turnover from the other. The Jaguars get 3 off an Eagles turnover, tied at 10 on the Jaguars television network. Fans, you can earn points and win prizes just for talking Jaguars. Visit social.jaguars.com and start earning and winning right now. A 10-10 ball game here in Jacksonville between the Philadelphia Eagles and the Jacksonville Jaguars. 8:47 remaining, and what's really been, Mark Brunell, a very entertaining first half. We've seen offense on both sides. We've seen some opportunistic offense taking advantage of turnovers and some solid defense.
Well, we're seeing two offenses that obviously feel very comfortable in the up-tempo offense. Pretty good football game.
Johnson back deep. He'll bring it from 5 yards out. Johnson across the 10, in some trouble, and Cyprien's going to bring him down at the 10-yard line. Great coverage by Jacksonville on special teams. Jonathan Cyprien, the second-round pick, with that great speed to get down and make the stop.
Well, Cyprien, obviously a real good football player for the Jaguars, doing a great job at safety, even in just this early preseason. Makes a great play on special teams there. He will be called upon to do that many times this year.
Came back last week after a hamstring injury kept him out of the Dolphins game, the first preseason game this year for Jacksonville. Eagles deep in their own end at the 10-yard line. McCoy to the right side, he'll lose yardage. Jaguars with some tremendous penetration. Russell Allen was in the backfield. Geno Hayes back there as well. The linebackers getting deep against the Eagles.
Well, you see that penetration. Geno Hayes gets in there. Russell Allen gets in there. Not allowing much room for the ball carriers for the Eagles.
4-yard loss on the play. 2nd and 14 back at the 6. Vick will step up. Selleck just shy of the 15-yard line. Tackled by Paul Posluszny. And it's going to leave the Eagles with a 3rd down and 5.
Well, I'm a little surprised at that play call there. You asking Michael Vick to stand in the pocket. Very dangerous. He steps up and just gets nailed right there by some Derek Marks.
3rd down and 5 at the 15. 4-man rush for Jacksonville. Vick over the middle. His tight end open again. Selleck across the 40 to the 41-yard line. A pickup of 26 before Jonathan Cyprien could make the stop.
Well, you see Selleck here on a corner route. Obviously a breakdown in coverage. Leaves them all alone.
The 41, 1st down. Screen set up. Chris Polk to the 46-yard line. 5-yard gain. Kyle Love able to track him down.
Kyle Love showed a little bit of speed at it for a 315-pound defensive tackle.
It's a big guy running there.
That's a big man.
Vick under pressure from Posluszny. Vick has the corner though and the speed to get the 1st down. Out at the 44 of Jacksonville, Michael Vick scrambles to move the chains.
Well, like we said earlier, he wants to get out of that pocket. That's where Michael Vick can create. Michael Vick in his career, 11 100-yard rushing games, the most in NFL history. He has the ability to run. In his 12th year, obviously still showing that he's got it.
Well, he has said that he didn't hope to be a factor in the run game. He would be a factor in the run game, and he has been tonight as Polk barrels down to the 40-yard line. Russell Allen on the stop. Michael Vick over 35 yards rushing in this first half.
Well, he certainly is a run threat. The question is, can he stay on the field? In his 11 seasons, he's played all 16 games, started all 16 games one time. A lot of injuries over the years. Obviously a concern for the Eagles, keeping Michael Vick on the field.
2nd and 6 from the 40-yard line, and he threw it short, and Dwayne Gratz with the interception. Breaking tackles, and Gratz across the 35 to the 37-yard line before he's finally stopped. The rookie from UConn picks off Michael Vick and turns the Eagles away.
Well, Gus Bradley's got to be excited. Second time they get the ball, Dwayne Gratz gets his 2nd interception of preseason. You see Michael Vick throwing off his back foot. Never for a good idea for a quarterback. Throws the interception, just trying to get rid of it.
And Gratz there for the pick. The Jaguars offense back to work again in a 10-10 ball game. We talked with Gus Bradley earlier today, Mark, and he said this would not be a good challenge. This would be a great challenge for his defense. So far, his defense gets more than a passing grade against this Eagle offense.
Boy, they're doing an incredible job. And like we said, they are playing with an energy. They're playing with passion. They're flying around. They're hitting. They're running. Even the defensive linemen are running down running backs on screen plays.
Defense,
exciting to see.
Yeah, the defense with the interception a moment ago. 2nd turnover of the night for Philadelphia. And the Jaguars start from their 37 on 1st down. Some running room up the middle. Nice cutback by Todman. Todman into the clear. Headed for the sideline. And Todman's going to take it all the way for the touchdown. 63 yards for Jordan Todman. And the Jaguars take the lead.
Jordan Todman, the zone blocking scheme on the left side, makes a great cut. Backside blocking, secures the edge. He finds an opening, and he is rumbling down that right sideline. I don't know about putting that hand up a little early. Almost got caught there. I don't think Gus Bradley's going to have a few words about that one.
Jordan Todman had 8 rushing yards last season. Played 1 game for the Jaguars last year, then went on injured reserve with a calf injury. Making a name for himself tonight as the Jaguars regain the lead. 17-10. Jordan Todman takes the Vick interception and scampers 63 yards on the Jaguars television network. A little oxygen after a 63-yard run for Jordan Todman. Not a bad way to make a name for yourself when you're competing for a spot on a roster in the 3rd preseason game. And the Jaguars take a 17-10 lead. Johnson, 5 yards deep. He'll bring it out again. Johnson with a seam. Johnson with some room to run. Johnson across midfield, and the Jaguars finally able to track him down from behind. Alan Ball with the tackle at the 42-yard line of Jacksonville, and a huge return for Johnson.
Well, just when we were talking about the special teams making some great plays, we have a breakdown in pursuit here. Finally get him down, but that's too big of a return for the Eagles.
They'll mark him officially at the 44-yard line of Jacksonville. Morris Johnson was an explosive return man in the punt return game a year ago. Finished his career as the NCAA's all-time leader in all-purpose yards at Tulsa. And now Michael Vick back to work trying to atone for that interception. Brown trying to find the corner, and he tumbles out of bounds near the 35-yard line. They'll mark him at the 36, a gain of 8. Cyprian on the tackle. Michael Vick beating out Nick Foles this week for the starting job in Kelly's first year at Philadelphia. 2nd and 3 at the 37. Brown the motion man. They set up the quick screen to Avant, who's got the first down because Lesney tracks him down from behind at the 30-yard line. They'll mark him out of bounds at the 29. A pickup on the play of 8 and a first down.
Well, Michael Vick throws the bubble screen to the left. Get some positive yards for him. There's Lesney in there on the tackle.
And that offense again, the tempo Not where they want it to be yet in Philadelphia, but not going to spend a lot of time in a huddle. Brown trying to find some room on the corner. And he fights forward to the 24-yard line. Geno Hayes out there on the stop. Pickup of 5 yards as the clock slips closer to 4 minutes to play first half. Bryce Brown, second-year man out of Kansas State. Played only 13 games in his college career. Bounced from Tennessee to Kansas State. A nice season last year, 564 yards rushing for the Eagles. At the Jaguar 24, 2nd and 5. Vic screen tipped and still caught with one hand by Avant, and he's going to have the first down. Pass was tipped by Marcus Trufant. Avant able to hang on to it and get it down to the 16.
With great concentration by Avant there. One-handed catch. Really turns nothing into something. Gets downfield. Tough to defend.
And looking for the end zone on the quick snap on first down, and Vic overshoots Riley Cooper, who was well covered and a lot of traffic out there. Vic just threw that one through the back of the end zone, 2nd down.
Well, it's smart on Michael Vick's part. If you don't have anything, you feel the pressure coming down on you, just throw it out of the end zone. Get to the next play. Be smart. Michael Vick certainly knows that.
From the 16, fumbled snap. Brown's going to cover it up, but a loss on the play all the way back to the 21. A 5-yard loss for the Eagles.
Well, it's a snap off to Vick's left side. Looked like it might have been trying to do a direct snap to the running back, and I think that snap was very accurate at all.
Who gets the blame on that? Center, quarterback, running back, all of the above?
Kevin, it's always the center. It's always going to be the
I knew you were going to say
one.
the quarterback. I figured you'd either throw the running back or the center under the bus. From the 21, 3rd and 15. Vic with time now looking to scramble. And Vic will take it out of bounds short of the first down. Picks up positive yardage to the 13-yard line, an 8-yard gain. And Alex Henry in the field goal unit will come on for Philadelphia.
Once again, well defended by the Jaguars. Good stop. Good stop against a pretty good offense. Seem to be a little bit off right now. Certainly haven't gotten into the rhythm that Chip Kelly was hoping for. Nevertheless, they've got 10 points on the board and about to be 13.
31-yard attempt for Alex Henry. And Henry's kick is good. He's an 88% kicker in his first 2 years in the league. Very accurate as Henry cuts the Jaguars' lead to 4. 2:06 remaining in this second half, and Jacksonville with a chance to work on a little 2-minute offense coming up. Well, a little while ago we saw the touchdown run from Todman, and some blocking helps.
Boy, what I really like is this unselfish play by Blackman on the back side. It's a run off to the left side. Todman cuts back, and look at Blackman engage the corner. This is what makes the play happen. He secures his edge. Todman finds a crease. Great effort by Blackman there.
And then after that, the speed of Todman took over. Look at Blackman one more time. You don't have to do much, do you, Mark? You don't have to crush the guy or lay him out. Just get in his way.
Kevin, you're exactly right. Just occupy him. Get in his way. Don't allow him to make the tackle. Doesn't have to be too physical, but you do have to get in front of him and impede him from making that tackle.
8-play scoring drive after the good kickoff return, capped by the Henry field goal from 31 yards out. Alex Henry's kick through the end zone, and the touchback will bring the Jaguars out to the 20-yard line. 2:06 remaining in this first half. Chad Henne and company with one last chance to go to work here in this first half. Played this game for a lot of years at this level, Mark. In this third preseason game, as a player, did it feel more like a real game, so to speak, than any other one?
You know, it did. It felt like a real game. It felt like a real week of preparation. Gus Bradley said today, much more preparation this week going against the Eagles. Regular game plan week. Really important to get this team ready for the opener against Kansas City.
Blackman fighting his way out of bounds near the 25-yard line. Run out by Bradley Fletcher as we reach the 2-minute warning here at Everbank Field. Jacksonville with a 17-13 lead. 2 minutes to go, first half. Beautiful night in Jacksonville, Florida. That bridge carrying a lot of folks to Everbank Field tonight to watch this third preseason game. Final chance to see Jacksonville in action at home until the season opener. A couple of weeks away, Kansas City Chiefs and the Jacksonville Jaguars. Hard to believe that we are almost ready to kick off another season of football. But it is that time. The Jags have looked good here in this first half with a 17-13 lead over Philadelphia. Henny on second down, a little confusion there. Blackman came back towards the line of scrimmage, and Henny's pass over everybody, and it's 3rd and 5.
Yeah, certainly some miscommunication there. Chad Henne thinking that Justin Blackman was going down the field on a fade route. Justin thought he had a comeback. Not on the same page.
Saw Justin on his way back to the huddle pointing at his chest, saying that's my bad.
My bad.
3rd down and 5. Henny flushed. Henny gonna run. Fighting for the first down, and he's stopped just a yard shy by Fletcher Cox. Boy, Chad Henne not taking the shy approach on 3rd and 5.
Well, Chad knows in these situations the only time to really sell out and go and try to get that first down is in these 3rd and short situations. Fortunately, he came up short there and paid for it.
It is still the preseason. That was a regular season play on both ends.
Well, I love the competitiveness. I love his willingness to go out knowing he's going to get hit, knowing it's, somebody who's bearing down on that's going to make a really physical tackle, and yet he still sacrifices his body to try to get that first down.
Ken Parrish to punt. Morris Johnson back deep. Eagles with 1 timeout and 1:46 to work with, as they'll get the ball back on 4th and 1. Parrish gets off a good punt. Johnson driven back to the 18. Johnson across the 30. Johnson across the 40. Breaks a tackle into Jaguar territory, and flags come in at the end of the play as Parrish has to make the tackle. And it looks like they're going to add a little yardage on to the end of that. Did he make the tackle by grabbing the headgear?
Yeah, he really did. That's going to be a face mask penalty. Add some yardage to the end of that kick return. He did get him down. If he didn't, that might have been a touchdown for the Eagles. That was a costly penalty.
Personal foul. Face mask. Kicking team number 2. 15-yard penalty. Philadelphia keeps the ball. First down.
Well, again, a big return. We saw one in the kick game, now in the punt game for Johnson. And there's Parrish grabbing him as he came by. Watch it here. You'll get a good look.
Well, you can see why it was a personal foul. That was beyond just a face mask. That was an all-out grab. Anytime your punter's making the tackle in one way or the other, it's not a good thing.
So all the way to the Jacksonville 30-yard line, 1st down and 10. 4-man rush again for Jacksonville. Jackson with the catch, and a first down. Deshaun Jackson to the 17, a pickup of 13. Dwayne Gratz on the stop. And the Eagles run hurry up, so to speak, for most of this first half. They have not huddled once tonight. First down and 10. Vick with time, and now has to throw it away. Nobody open, and Vick airs it out of bounds. Crowd hoping for an intentional grounding, and they're not going to get it. It'll be 2nd down and 10.
Now the rule is there for Michael Vick. If he gets outside the tackle box, he can throw it away. It was awfully close there as he runs to the left, gets forced out, some pressure. Michael Vick knows that he needs to just get to the next play, not force anything, not take a sack, don't get out of field range. Very heady player by Michael Vick.
Second down and 10, exactly 1 minute to go in the half. Vick in some trouble. Vick buying time. Vick still on the move and finally gets rid of the football. Boy, great coverage by Jacksonville. It is awfully hard, Mark, to maintain that kind of coverage for that long.
Kevin, you're exactly right. It is tough to cover those guys for that long a period. Michael Vick, that play seemed to last 10 minutes. He bought a lot of time moving around. That's what Michael Vick does. He's going to create. He's going to give himself every opportunity to find a receiver downfield. In this case, Jaguar defenders did a great job. Michael Vick once again throws out of bounds and allows them to get to third down.
At the 17 of Jacksonville, 3rd and 10. Pressure coming. Vick in trouble, and Vick is sacked. They're going to call him down. Andre Branch knifing in to get the sack of Michael Vick.
Very good effort by Andre Branch. See him inside. Grabs Michael Vick around the waist. Andre Branch, a guy that's trying to make a name for himself. Second round draft pick last year, 2012. Has a lot to prove to these Jaguars coaches. Certainly that play made an impression.
Well, he only played 7 plays last week total against the Jets. Trying to impress upon this defensive coaching staff that he's got a role on this squad as the Eagles will use their final timeout to line up for what should be an end of the half field goal attempt. The sack back to the 27-yard line. One thing Jacksonville has to be awfully pleased with in this first half, Mark, is the consistent pressure they've been able to apply with really a 4-man rush, and then the coverage we've seen downfield when that rush hasn't been able to get to Michael Vick.
And this is Gus Bradley's plan. He wanted to apply a pressure with the four-man front. You're not seeing a lot of blitzes. Linebackers aren't blitzing. Safeties aren't coming off the edge or inside. And their coverage has been excellent. Still have not allowed Michael Vick to get into a rhythm. He's had some plays with his legs. He's thrown the ball down the field a little bit, but it's not what Chip Kelly was hoping for.
45-yard field goal try for Alex Henry, his long in his career, 51. Missed a 44-yarder last week against the Panthers. Henry with plenty of distance on this, and it's right down the middle to close the half here in Jacksonville with a 45-yard field goal. Last week in New York, the Jags took a 3-point lead into the locker room at halftime. Tonight, Jacksonville with a 1-point lead, 17-16. But they've had a lot of good things happen for them in this first half on both sides of the football, Mark.
Yeah, they really have. And Chad Henne's doing a great job.
Let's check in downstairs for more on that first half. Tara is standing by with head coach Gus Bradley.
Coach, solid start. So many highlights to that first half.
Yeah, you know what? I thought we really flew around. Our special teams, got a takeaway, but the field position where the offense is starting for Philly has put us in some sun change-like situations. The defense held up, but we got to start with better field position.
You've got to be pleased with the way your defense has contained Michael Vick tonight.
Yeah, for the most part. The tempo is such a tremendous strain on the defense, and I thought we've handled it really well. We had a good game plan to handle the tempo, and it slowed down somewhat as the game has gone on.
All right, thanks a lot, Coach.
Thank you.
Now Gus Bradley on his way to the locker room, and the Jaguars take a lead into the locker room for the second straight week in the preseason. Some turnovers benefiting Jacksonville, some pressure as well. And Jacksonville with a 63-yard touchdown run. That's the difference in this one. And a 17-16 lead at the break. Jaguars with a 1-point lead at halftime, 17-16 at Everbank Field, alongside former Jaguars quarterback Mark Brunell. I'm Kevin Kugler, and Mark, it was really everything the Jags could have wanted in the first half.
Well, Gus Bradley has to be pleased with this football team. Defensively, they got after Michael Vick. Offensively, they had a couple big plays, put some points on the board, so good things by the Jaguars so far.
Well, let's take a look at some of the highlights from the first half, and you can see how this one unfolded. And for Jacksonville, pressure early, Mark.
Early pressure, as we've seen in preseason games prior to this. Michael Vick getting forced out. They have not allowed Michael Vick to get into a rhythm, nor have they allowed the rushing game to get going for the Eagles as well.
Then Michael Vick with the interception, forced again by that pressure, and then throwing off his back foot. The pressure again from Branch with the sack, and the Jaguars able to take advantage with a nice touchdown pass from Henne.
Well, a very good accurate throw by Chad Henne, finding Justin Blackman on a corner route in the back of the end zone. And then Todman steps up, cuts to the right. Big gain for the young player. Great rushing attack tonight for the Jacksonville Jaguars.
The 63-yard touchdown. The difference in this one as we take a look at the numbers in this first half. And Jacksonville 121 yards on the ground, 63 yards through the air. And the two things that Jacksonville and Gus Bradley really wanted to clean up, Mark, turnovers and penalties. One turnover, one penalty. A far cry from where the Jacksonville Jaguars were last week. Remember, 12 penalties a week ago in the loss to New York.
Well, that's good. You're seeing that the team is responding to the head coach. And he talked about penalties. He talked about turnovers all week long. They've answered the call. One penalty, one turnover. That's a good sign. It's a good sign, Kevin.
Alex Henry will kick things off. Jacksonville's going to start this second half with the football. Jonathan Grimes back deep for the Jaguars. We'll see just how much those starters roll through this third quarter. We expect to see Chad Henne for a good portion of the third quarter. Grimes will take a knee. And out comes the first team offensive line. Out comes Chad Henne. And the rest of the first teamers. You see the quarterback comparison between the two, Michael Vick and Chad Henne. Vick's got the edge statistically, but Chad Henne will take the little improved run game that he's had tonight to help out his offense.
Well, Chad just has that one interception he'd certainly like to have back, but for the most part has had a very good football game.
He's got Denard Robinson behind him, offset with Will Tafoho at fullback. The motion man, Brett Brackett, toss play, Denard on first down. Robinson, he can motor, and Robinson scoots up to the 30-yard line, 10-yard gain and a first down. Jamar Chaney on the tackle for Philadelphia.
Well, just your sweet play to the left. Denard gets some positive yards, cuts back, gets some good blocking by his guys up front. First down.
Not a lot of deception to that one. An old-fashioned student body left kind of play. Denard again, a little cutback to find a lane, and he gets 5 more to the 35-yard line. How hard is that for a guy who's been a quarterback for most of his life, played running back twice at Michigan, to learn that position and be as effective as he's been, at least in the preseason?
Well, Denard, he understands that his value is in his athletic ability. Certainly not your conventional college or pro quarterback. Offensive weapon that's going to help the Jaguars. You can put him anywhere. You put him on special teams. He can run the ball, obviously, as he has in this drive and in this game.
So on the quarterback earlier, you could certainly see him for a few plays during the season at the quarterback spot. On first down and 10, here he is again from the running back spot. And what's been surprising to me as much is that he's been so effective between the tackles. Gets 5 more there as we check in downstairs with Tara.
All right, Maurice Jones-Drew told me he has so much respect for Denard Robinson because he has to learn so many different positions. In fact, Jed Fish says we're trying to broaden his base of plays right now. He does really well in the red zone, and it's really fun to watch him go.
Well, he is a fun one to watch, and the ball security is what's given him the opportunity to do so much as Ace Sanders touches the ball for the first time tonight, and the rookie out of South Carolina has a first down to the 46-yard line. Brandon Graham on the stop for Philadelphia.
Well, speaking of rookies that are going to make an impact, they really like Ace Sanders.
He has been somebody who can help in so many ways, and he brings that energy to this team. Zone read action for Chad Henne as he throws to Mike Brown on the run. Another guy who's had a very impressive summer and early fall. The first-year man out of Liberty, Mike Brown, had a real good camp. He's got a real strong chance to be on this roster on opening day.
Yes, he does. I talked to Blaine before the game. Really likes Mike Brown. Said he's a very smart player. Obviously stemming from his time at quarterback for Liberty.
I knew you were going there. I just couldn't get there in time. Denard Robinson spins off one tackle and then planted into the turf by Casey Matthews at the 35-yard line, but a first down for Jacksonville.
Well, the best thing about this play is that he takes a big hit and he holds on to the ball. Something that had been problematic for Denard earlier in camp. Has not fumbled this preseason, proving to the coaches that he can't be trusted with that football in his hand.
At the 35-yard line, Jordan Todman looking for that cutback lane again, and he gets 7 yards to the 28-yard line before Eddie Whitley can make the stop. Another nice run for Todman.
Well, you see his patience here. The zone blocking scheme. Trying to find a lane. He finds lane. He gets cut back, finds an opening, gets some tough yards. Good run.
2nd and 3 at the 28-yard line. Todman again bouncing off a tackle in the backfield. He'll lose a yard, though, to the 29-yard line. Credit on the play to Vinny Curry, the second-year man out of Marshall, who got that early penetration. And I know you've seen this too many times, I'm sure, in your career, but penetration just kills a run play.
No, it really doesn't. There was absolutely nowhere to go. Uche Winery gets beat on that on the inside and doesn't allow any room for the running back.
So now 3rd down and 4 at the 29-yard line. Todman to the outside. Todman with a first down. He has been impressive tonight as he's got the first at the 15-yard line of Philadelphia. Another nice run for Jordan Todman.
Well, they believe Todman could be a great complement to Maurice Jones-Drew, and certainly is proving that tonight. He's going to find himself on the opening day roster with runs like this, having a big night for the Jaguars.
Closing in on 100 yards on just 6 carries tonight. 16 yards per carry. That'll work.
That'll work. That's not bad.
First down and 10 at the Eagle 15-yard line. Henny. And it's in and out of the hands of Denard Robinson. Henny had some late pressure from Vinny Curry, but Robinson knows he should have had that one.
Yeah, that one just, that should have been caught. That should have been caught. Chad gets some pressure there, gets knocked down, throws an accurate ball. Certainly gives the receiver a chance to catch that one. Denard's not pleased about that.
It has to be pleasing for Jacksonville is the way they've come out both at the first half and the second half on offense. Had the 90-yard drive on their first possession in the first half. Here they've marched to the 15. Henny hit again as he throws, and the pass is incomplete, and here comes the flag. A little bit of contact before that ball got there, and Jacksonville's going to get a new set of downs.
And once again, we're seeing some pressure. Interesting, before this game, 81 pass attempts. There have only been 2 sacks. Certainly this is the most pressure that a defense has gotten on the Jaguar offense in preseason so far.
Bill Vinovich, our referee.
The ruling on the field is a completed catch. Pass interference, defense, that penalties decline. Result of the play, 3rd down.
So they rule it a catch, and it'll bring up 3rd down.
Well, Chad stands in there, feeling the heat, still delivers the ball. Showing some courage in that pocket on this drive.
So it bounced up, and Shipley was able to grab it off the deflection. Pretty good play. Looked like it hit the turf, but it instead, according to the officials, went off of David Sims. Boy, I don't know that went off of Sims.
Yeah, I think Chip Kelly wouldn't mind taking another look at that one.
They're going to accept the penalty to get the first down. So they've had a change of heart. To me, it looked like it went right off the turf at the 5-yard line. Chip Kelly going over to talk with Bill Vinovich. Red flag in hand. Jaguars end up accepting the penalty. The challenge flag comes out. So we will find out the result of that challenge when we return on the Jaguars television network. We were having a discussion during the timeout as to what the challenge would be after the Jaguars accepted the pass interference. The challenge is, was the pass tipped before it got to the receiver, thus negating an interference call because the ball would have been deflected.
So there may be some question as far as whether that ball was tipped at the line of scrimmage. They're certainly looking at that now. No confusion down there.
Well, initially the ruling was that it deflected off David Sims and was caught by Jordan Shipley. Would have been 3rd down. Jaguars decided instead they'd take the 1st down. But they are looking right now to see if the pass was deflected at any point, which would then mean, since the ball was tipped, it couldn't be a pass interference call. And that's what we've been told they are looking at downstairs. Just a lot of weirdness going on with that play.
Well, that ball certainly doesn't get tipped at the line of scrimmage.
No. So now the officials are out of the hood. Bill Vinovich has seen everything he needs to see. Chip Kelly.
This is a new one for Chip in the NFL.
That play's a new one for a lot of people. So now Philadelphia's challenge has been received. Bill Vinovich has looked under the hood, and we will find out the results of that challenge right now.
After reviewing the play, the pass was incomplete. However, the ball was not tipped. Therefore, the defensive pass interference stays. It'll be Jacksonville's ball, 1st and 10 at the 10-yard line. Philadelphia is not charged for a challenge or a timeout because we changed an aspect of the play.
And we appreciate that additional ruling because obviously the challenge was in the air at that moment. Bill Vinovich says because they changed the aspect, you've got the challenge still in your pocket. So Sims did not deflect it. It was not tipped. Bart Simpson happy about it on the Eagles sideline that they keep their challenge. And we move on to 1st and goal at the 10-yard line. So you missed the time when they got to signal in plays with various cards like Bart Simpson or a picture of Mark Brunell, something like that.
Bart Simpson on an NFL sideline. I don't know, Kevin.
He's only usually there if he's promoting a movie.
I'm having a tough time with that one.
1st and goal for the Jaguars from the 10-yard line. After all that's sorted out, they take the penalty and get the 1st down. Henne under pressure. Chad Henne steps up and minimizes the damage as he gets back inside the 12-yard line. There's the card. There's Bart Simpson.
What does that mean? What could that possibly mean, Kevin? Any idea?
I don't know about the sandwich.
There's a sub.
There's the sub sandwich.
Okay.
Maybe they are asking for someone to get out. Subbing out.
Interesting.
It's a system they used at Oregon. Substituting with cards. The cheese steak was the picture there. I don't know what that means. And 2nd down carry by Todman. Takes it from the 11-yard line near the 9. Colt Anderson on the tackle. They'll mark it at the 8 where it's 3rd and goal.
The Jaguars have a good drive going here. Important 3rd down inside the 10.
And a bland card. Just red. See, I'm relying on you. You didn't use cards and pictures and everything?
There were no cards. There were no pictures.
Carved it out on a stone tablet and held it up.
Hey, watch it. Watch it.
3rd down and goal from the 8-yard line. Henne, nice catch and a touchdown. Alan Reisner plucks it off the turf, and the Jaguars add to their lead.
Well, that's Reisner's 2nd touchdown of preseason. Once again, Chad Henne stands in there, finds Reisner crossing underneath, throws a low ball.
Good job clogging things up there by Mike Brown.
Very good catch by Reisner.
And then he tries to spike and the ball slips out of his hands. Well, that's not going to go down as the best moment of his day, but the touchdown will. As Josh Scobie on to tack on the extra point, and the Jaguars add to the lead, now an 8-point advantage. as Chad Henne finds the end zone for the second time today. Reisner, the second-year man from Iowa, gives Jacksonville the 8-point lead. Fans, you can stand united with Jaguars tickets. Call 904-633-2000, option 2. Reps are standing by. This Jags team's been a fun one to watch tonight. 24-16 lead for Jacksonville after a 14-play, 75-yard scoring drive, capped by the 8-yard touchdown catch by Alan Reisner and Gus Bradley's squad with an 8-point third-quarter lead.
Well, clearly the up-tempo offense is working for the Jaguars, something that they're very comfortable with. Obviously, Chad Henne very comfortable with it.
Kicked off by Parrish, bobbled short by Brown. Bryce Brown trying to make the most of things, gets across the 25 out to the 27-yard line, where the Eagles will start first down and 10. Michael Vick and company back out to work here in this third quarter.
So we knew that the starters would go into the third quarter. Question is how far into it. Typically in this third preseason games, starters play a significant amount of the game, most of the game.
And the next week is when you'll see a lot of guys vying for that backup role in that fourth and final preseason game. Kickoff of the season just a couple of weeks away. From the 27, Vick over the middle. Puslesny on the tackle at the 34-yard line. Selleck with another grab. He's had a very nice night as he gets 7. Selleck with the catch there. Advancing things for the Philadelphia Eagles. His 4th catch for 54 yards. On the left side is Chris Polk. And the second-year man, former Washington Husky. Heard good things about that school. Takes it to the 38-yard line and a first down.
Very good school. A lot of great athletes have come from the University of Washington.
I've heard rumors, yeah. Especially in the early 90s. Some really great left-handed quarterbacks there, right?
Right.
From the 38 on first down. Again, got a good block, and Polk's got a first down. Jason Avant leading the way on that outside with a good block to open up the hole for Polk as he takes it to midfield to pick up a 12.
It's one of the things that the Eagles have been going to, that wide sweep. Getting a lot of yards on the edge. Certainly something the defense, Bob Babbage, needs to shut down.
From midfield on first down. Vick, good pass to the sideline, and another first down as Deshaun Jackson goes out of bounds across the 40 at the 37, 13-yard pickup for Philadelphia.
Well, Deshaun Jackson down here gets press coverage. You don't see it on your screen, but he creates some separation with an out route. Good completion.
Round to the outside. Avant again with a good block out there. And Puslesny tracks him down from behind. Very close to another first down. They'll give him near the 26-yard line and a first down for Philadelphia. And Puslesny down on one knee. That's not where you want to see Paul Puslesny if you're a Jaguars fan.
Well, that's one thing you don't see very often is Puslesny hurt. Very durable player last year. In fact, the year prior to that, played all 16 games.
It's like he landed on the heel of Bryce Brown.
Yeah, he got that back heel right in his gut.
Hopefully he'll be okay and back out there soon. You're talking about a guy who is invaluable to that defense.
Well, he is as tough as they come. Good chance he'll be right back out there.
First down and 10 from the 26. Brown to the outside. Brown down the sideline. Brown fumbles the football into the end zone, through the end zone. Bryce Brown coughs it up. Dwight Lowry jarred it loose. And the Jaguars able to turn away the Eagles on the fumble that rolls through the end zone.
The referees, the officials are having a discussion. What would have been a touchdown if he holds on to the ball. It certainly is not that. You see holding that ball out wide.
So to break we go with Brown's fumble. The Jaguars going back to work on the Jaguars television network. So the Jags turn the Eagles away again. A little help on this play as Brown fumbles through the end zone, and the Jaguars will have it at the 20-yard line.
Boy, a big break for the Jaguars. Dwight Lowry getting in there, knocking that ball out. It goes from a would-be touchdown to Jaguars ball at the 20. Great defense.
Just rolls out of that back corner of the end zone. You can see the touchback signal being given by one official. Now our officials are conferring once again. There was a little bit of confusion after that touchback was signaled. You wonder if they're not checking to see that the clock is correct here in this third quarter. Thumbs up from our referee tonight, Bill Vinovich. We're ready to go at the 20-yard line, and Matt Scott is going to come on at quarterback for the Jacksonville Jaguars.
Boy, big night for Jaguar defense. Up to this point, they forced 2 turnovers up to this game. Tonight, 3 turnovers.
Well, that's a big plus for Jacksonville. A lot of the areas that Gus Bradley's been stressing they need to clean up. They've cleaned up tonight. A positive turnover margin of +2. The penalty number way down from where it was in the first 2 games. They scored 10 points off those turnovers. And now a chance for Matt Scott, the rookie from Arizona, to go to work at the 20-yard line. Now we see a host of backups out there for both teams. On first down, Todman down to the 24-yard line. The tackle by Emmanuel Acho for Philadelphia.
Interestingly enough, backups are in there, but number 14, Justin Blackman, still in the ball game.
Matt Scott has to be happy about that.
Absolutely.
Somebody to go long to if he needs to. Blackman's in the slot, bottom of the screen. Motion man is Tony Clemens. Scott over the middle for Blackman, and he dropped it at the 43-yard line. Eddie Whitley was there for Philadelphia. You're not going to see that too often from Justin Blackman.
But, well, you know, if Justin Blackman's in the game, he's going to get the ball. He runs an in route, hits him right in the chest, just takes his eyes off it a little bit. Very well thrown ball by Scott.
That was a nice pass by the undrafted free agent. And he wants a timeout. Play clock was down to 2. And the Jaguars were not ready to do anything on this 3rd and 6. So Jacksonville will use the timeout with 5:43 remaining in the third. A 3rd and 6 for the Jaguars, leading 24-16. When we return. Alongside Mark Brunell with Tara Bars, I'm Kevin Kugler. 24-16 Jacksonville with an 8-point lead. And in our conversations, not only earlier today but earlier this week, a little bit surprising that Matt Scott is in there ahead of Mike Kafka. We've been led to believe it might be the other way around. Both will likely play here in the 3rd and 4th quarters. And Scott on 3rd and 6 swings it to Todman. Todman stayed in bounds and is down at the 28-yard line. A flag is down from the backfield at the 38 behind that Eagles defense. About a 4-yard gain, depending on this flag. Also an injured player on the near sideline for Philadelphia.
Holding, defense number 22. 5-yard penalty, automatic, first down.
It's Brandon Boykin, who's had an up and down preseason for this Philadelphia squad. Eddie Whitley is the injured player. Boykin says, who, me? What'd I do? Spent a lot of time at the nickel last year. They are looking at him again this year as their nickel back. But it's been a little bit inconsistent throughout camp. They're going to tend to Eddie Whitley along the sideline. We'll take a timeout while they tend to Whitley. 5:31 remaining in the third. A 24-16 lead on the Jaguars television network. You saw on the sideline they were tending to Eddie Whitley. Now they're tending to him on the training table across the way. Whitley just got banged up on that sideline. Teammate hit the knee, and Whitley not feeling very good after that one. So they'll tend to him. Jaguars will take the first down after the penalty on Brandon Boykin for defensive holding. And so a new set of downs for Matt Scott and the Jacksonville offense. Blackman still in the game. One of the few starters on the field right now. Remember, Justin Blackman's going to be out the first 4 games of the regular season, getting him a little extra work right now. Scott's pass tipped but caught by Clemens. And not much gain. 3-yard pickup after Brandon Boykin on the stop. Good throw by Matt Scott despite the tip. Got the completion. His teammate from college, Nick Foles, warming up on the Eagles sideline. Looks like he'll come in next time Philadelphia has the football. On 2nd and 7, the ball's out. Fumble by Jonathan Grimes. And it looks like it's scooped up by Jacksonville, and Grimes able to get it back.
Boy, he was fortunate that ball came out. We'll look at it here. Underneath handoff by Scott. A lot of congestion in there. Yeah, that ball comes out quick. Fortunately, it comes right back to Grimes. That doesn't happen very often.
Not in the midst of that massive humanity. 3rd down and 4 for Jacksonville. Scott with time and a completion for the first down to Brett Brackett at the 46-yard line before David Sims can make the stop.
Boy, Matt Scott doing a good job getting the snap, eyes downfield. Looks for Brackett in the middle. Very accurate throw. First down.
Got a little mustard in that.
I was just going to say, Kevin, he showing some arm strength there.
Grimes trying to pick his way up the middle. A pickup of a yard to the 47. Interior of that Eagle defensive line, Antonio Dixon, 4th-year man from Miami, in there to help out on the stop.
You know, it's interesting with this up-tempo. They obviously trust Scott enough to get into the up-tempo. Of course, Matt Scott's looking at the sideline, getting some direction from Jed Fish. There's a penalty.
False start. Offense, number 78. 5-yard penalty. Still 2nd down.
It's Cameron Bradfield moving early. You're going to expect to see that, I think, a little bit now that you're moving in new guys, some backups coming in.
Typically, the penalties in preseason, they're committed by the young guys. They're thinking a lot, overthinking many times, and not very disciplined, and still learning the game at this level.
2nd down and 14 at the 42. Grimes empties out the backfield. Scott with time, juggled and almost intercepted. It bounced on the turf before it could be pulled in by Colt Anderson, and it's 3rd down.
Boy, an errant throw by Matt. Not a very good decision. You see here, there's 3 defenders right there. Ball seems to touch every one of them. And Scott got away with one there. Poor decision.
Anderson almost had that pick. Just slipped out as he bounced again. I think bounced off 3 different Eagles. Third and 14. Scott. High throw. Ebert struggling for yardage, very close to the first down. What great effort by Jeremy Ebert. Brandon Boykin hanging on for dear life as the Northwestern product nearly gets the first.
Very good second effort. Out route by Ebert. Catches the ball, secures it. Trying to get dragged. He extends enough to certainly get it close.
They started to move the chains. Now going to take a look at this one, I think. as they bring in the chains to see if Ebert did get the first down. We'll remind you fans that you can earn points and win prizes just for talking Jaguars. Visit social.jaguars.com and start earning and winning right now. All right, you're going to prognosticate? It's too late. It's too late. I'm not going to let you prognosticate.
First down.
I don't think you got it. I think you prognosticated wrong.
Well, if it's not a first down,
it's very close.
It's very close.
I mean, like a chain link.
Well, the scoreboard says it's a first down.
I'm not going to dispute the scoreboard. Matt Scott 3 for 5 off the bench for 28 yards.
You know, even though it's not a first, Jaguars should go for it.
That was as close to being a first down as it can be without being a first down.
Well, I'll allow you to prognosticate. What's the next play? They throw it, they run it, quarterback sneak perhaps?
Yes. One of those things might happen here.
I'm saying quarterback sneak.
All right.
Give it to Matt Scott.
6'3", 212 pounds.
And there you go.
Prognostication correct. Scott with a big push all the way down to the 42-yard line. No doubt about that one. Matt Scott moves the chains, and it's a first down.
He does a good job. He secures the snap. The most important thing on these quarterback sneaks, get the ball and get low. He just drives his legs. He got more than enough on that one.
That was an impressive push. First down and 10 at the 42-yard line. Toss across to Brett Brackett at the 35-yard line. 7-yard pickup on first down.
I really like that by Matt Scott. He went through his progression, looked at his first receiver, his second receiver, got back to his third on the other side of the field and threw a completion. Pretty good for the rookie.
Grimes up the middle, and Grimes another first down to the 31-yard line. I think Jaguars fans are going to come away from this performance, at least to this point, Mark, feeling very optimistic about what this young team has been able to put together tonight.
Well, this has been a good night in so many different ways. Obviously, there still are some concerns, but Gus Bradley has to be very pleased, not only with his defense, but his offense as well.
Gus Bradley wants to see this team finish strong. They'd love to pick up their first preseason win as Jake Knott makes the tackle. After a 4-yard pickup, it'll bring up 2nd and 6.
And Scott having a good drive here too. Making some good decisions, very accurate.
Keeping the tempo up as well. Grimes the give. And Grimes fighting forward for an extra yard to the 24-yard line. 3 yards short of the first down in the final 48 seconds of this third quarter. Jaguars doing a good job of keeping that Eagle offense on the sidelines as well. 3rd down and 3 from the 24. Blackman the motion man. And some movement up front and getting an early start.
False start. Offense, number 78. 5-yard penalty, still 3rd down.
It's Cam Bradfield's 2nd penalty on this drive.
Well, that's unfortunate because it takes a 3rd and 5 and turns it into a 3rd and 10. Looks like they were going with a sweep pass with Justin Blackman cracking down on this side. It's going to make it difficult to convert.
Back to the 29-yard line. 3rd down and 8. 3rd penalty for 25 yards. 2 of those 3 here in this second half. Clemens in motion on 3rd and 8 at the Eagle 29. Play action. Scott hit as he throws, and the pass incomplete. He wanted Clemens. Coverage from Brandon Boykin. And Josh Scobie will come on to try to extend the lead with a field goal.
Boy, Matt didn't have a lot of time on that one. That's a penetration. Took a big hit, stood in there, delivered the ball. Just need a little bit more time. Bradfield getting beat on the inside at the left tackle position.
Everett Brown, the 4th-year man out of Florida State, providing that hit. And now the 47-yard field goal try for Josh Scobie. Scobie with the distance, but it is wide to the left and no good. So Josh Scobie cannot add 3 points, and with 3 seconds to go in the third quarter, the Eagles will take over as the Jags come up empty.
Well, that's something you don't see very often. Josh Scobie missing. You look at the hold. Holder gets it down. It looked like a good snap, good hold. I think he just pulled it.
Well, you know, Scobie'd rather miss one in the preseason as opposed to the regular season, but Josh Scobie doesn't want to miss one regardless.
No, not at all. And he won't miss many in the regular season. He's one of the best in the business.
So the night is done for Michael Vick as Nick Foles makes his way out onto the football field for the first time. He's got a trio of receivers to his right. And the first down pass is incomplete, intended for Morris Johnson. And that'll be the final play of the third quarter here at Everbank Field. We head to the fourth quarter. Jacksonville looking for its first win of the preseason. The Jaguars have an 8-point lead, 24-16 at the end of 3. Start of the fourth quarter in Jacksonville. Jaguars have an 8-point lead. I'm Kevin Kugler alongside former NFL quarterback Mark Brunell. Tara Barr's with us on the sidelines tonight. And the fourth quarter begins in Jacksonville with the ringing of the bell, the new tradition here in Jacksonville to signify the start of the fourth quarter. One of the members of our armed services ringing that bell every fourth quarter here in Jacksonville. And on 2nd and 10, Chris Polk trying to find some running room, and he'll lose a yard back to the 36-yard line. Kyle Love, the big push up front. Kyle Love's had a good game tonight, Mark.
You know, we've mentioned his name a few times. Fourth-year player out of Mississippi State, trying to make this ball club.
And then Dedrick just running off the field a moment ago. On 3rd and 11 from the 36. Foles. And the pass caught and just short of the first down. Great catch by Johnson. Backing up through traffic. Trufant able to make the stop a yard short of the first.
Well, the Eagles have elected to go for it.
And on 4th and a yard. The carry for Polk. He's got the first down and more. A flag is down, though, at the 45-yard line, right where Polk turned the corner.
Boy, good chance that this is a holding penalty, and unfortunate for the Eagles. They got the edge. Certainly got more than enough
Holding.
first down.
Offense number 76. 10-yard penalty. Repeat 4th down.
Alan Barbre, who's had a very solid preseason, called for the penalty.
Really wraps his arm around the defender there and right in front of the official. He wasn't going to get away with that one.
And that's going to change the strategy, obviously, for Chip Kelly and the Eagles. They will punt it away now. As Donnie Jones comes on to punt to Jordan Shipley, who backs up for Jacksonville. We've got a stop and play and a quick little conversation from our crew. Now ready to punt again. Shipley fields at the 6. Shipley across the 20 and knocked out of bounds. Well, we talked about that backup punter role, or backup punt return role, rather. Maybe Shipley making a name for himself. Jags will have it when we return on the Jaguars Television Network.
We're back here live at Everbank Field where the Jags have the lead early in the fourth, and it is 24-16. We're back here live with Luke Jokel right now. I know that you've been out for the last 2 weeks. Happy to be back on the field tonight. How are you feeling?
I feel great. You know, it's definitely great to be out there and, playing again. Sitting on the sideline, not used to that, don't like that at all, and hopefully it doesn't happen much while I'm here, so it's great to be back out there with the guys.
And physically, everything's feeling okay?
Yeah, I feel good. Went a little bit longer than expected to, but just because I was feeling good, wanted to keep going out there, wanted to keep mixing up with the teammates and everything, and everything was going good.
All right, Luke, we're glad to see you back in there. Guys, back to you.
Well, Luke Jokel, obviously the #2 overall pick in the draft, a huge part of what the Jaguars are hoping to do as they make their way through this season and beyond. Talk about an affable young man.
Well, I tell you, I think he's going to be a good one. He's going to be around here for a long time.
You played with a, not a bad left tackle here in Jacksonville in your day, a guy by the name of Baselli.
Yep.
See any comparisons between the two?
There are some comparisons. Obviously, it's probably premature talking about comparing the two. And Tony obviously went on to have a very, very good career, potential Hall of Famer down the road. And Tony was a great competitor. Luke's a great competitor. And but very fortunate, I know I was, to play with Tony Baselli. He made everyone around him better. He competed. He fought for you. He fought with you. And one of the greats, one of the all-time great Jaguars. And really a privilege to play football with him.
And now he still fights with you, although it's not on the football field. It's just, in hallways.
Well, that's what best friends
on the radio.
Best friends do.
3rd and 7 at the 24. Scott under pressure, and Scott is sacked. Back at the 21-yard line, nobody open downfield. That's good coverage by the Philadelphia Eagles. The pocket collapsing. Casey Matthews finally gets to Scott.
Matt Scott standing in the pocket, steps up, tries to make something happen. Just too much penetration.
So the Jaguars will have to punt it away. Back again, Morris Johnson for the Eagles. Short punt, Johnson at the 36. Johnson has had a couple of very nice returns tonight. Makes some hay and gets out near midfield. And a timeout on the field. 12:23 remaining in this 4th quarter on the Jaguars Television Network. Jaguars football on the Jaguars Television Network is brought to you by Bud Light Music First. It's the sound of history being made. Here we go. By Geico. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance. Visit us at geico.com or call 1-800-947-AUTO. By Everbank, Jacksonville's home for banking, lending, and investing. And by the Florida Department of Agriculture. Visit freshforfloridakids.com. 24-16, Jacksonville with the lead. 4th quarter, 12:23 to play here in the 4th. Foles on 1st down and 10 from midfield. And a lot of running room. Breaking a tackle, Russell Shepard, the rookie from LSU. And Shepard into Jacksonville territory all the way down to the 21-yard line, a pickup of 29.
Boy, Nick Foles does a great job. Sees that edge pressure on the right, quickly throws the bubble screen to the receiver, gets upfield, cuts inside, just about gets away. Very accurate pass by Nick Foles.
Good blocking out there on the edge. Jeff Mayle, Zach Ertz with the blocks. There's Shepard again. Russell Shepard down inside the 15 at the 12-yard line. A 9-yard gain. Russell Shepard with back-to-back big plays. Egbo on the stop. Brown on 2nd and short has the 1st down at the 7-yard line. Julian Stanford with the tackle. 1st and goal, Philadelphia, as they attack quickly.
Yeah, they got down there in a hurry. And Nick Foles having a good season last year. 1,700 passing yards as a rookie.
Foles on 1st down. Toss to his tight end, and down at the 4-yard line is James Casey. The tackle by Mike Harris. 2nd and goal.
Nick Foles last year setting Eagle rookie passing records for yards, completions, and attempts.
Pretty impressive when you think about some of the quarterbacks that have come through Philadelphia.
Some big names have come through there.
2nd down and goal from the 4-yard line. The carry for Brown with blockers and a touchdown. Well, that's a quick strike offense. You and I are thinking the same thing. That did not take long for Chip Kelly's squad to get 6.
Well, it's the first time we've seen that tonight, and it's Nick Foles as the quarterback getting a lot of plays called in a short amount of time, executing flawlessly. They threw the ball well, they ran the ball well, and found themselves in the end zone very quickly.
And now a chance where a 2-point conversion can tie it up. the Eagles will do just that.
Well, even though it's a preseason game, they want to win. Jaguars want to get their first win of the preseason. Eagles certainly want to challenge that as well.
2-point try, 4 receivers into the pattern. Bryce Brown, the motion man. He'll motion into the backfield. And this one will get a whistle and movement against the Eagles.
False start. Offense number 72. 5-yard penalty. Still the try.
Michael Bamiro will change the strategy with that penalty because now Alex Henry will come on for the extra point. And the Jaguars are going to hold this lead for the moment.
Yes, they will. That penalty hurt the Eagles right there. They wanted to get those 2 points. They'll settle for 1. Keeps the Jaguars in the lead.
So the extra point try from Alex Henry. Essentially a 25-yard extra point try, and it is good. And the Eagles are within 1 with 10:37 to play. And they got it done on the ground as Bryce Brown scoots in for 6 on the Jaguars television network. 24-23, Jacksonville by 1, 10:37 remaining in the fourth quarter, the third preseason game. Jaguars hit the road for the final preseason game. It is Thursday night in Atlanta. Mark Terra and I will be there. All the action from Atlanta on Thursday night. The scoring drive for the Eagles, 5 plays, 50 yards, 1 minute, 44 seconds off the clock. And that is what Chip Kelly wants to see from his offense this year. Efficiency and speed. From the end zone, Grimes will bring it out. And Grimes just shy of the 20-yard line. And the Jaguars offense led by quarterback Matt Scott making their way back out. Scott on in relief of Chad Henne, who was very, very solid tonight in his start, his first of this preseason. Of course, Blaine Gabbert with the injured thumb. Gabbert named the starter this week for the regular season opener, but Blaine Gabbert not starting tonight or the rest of the preseason.
Chad had a very good night.
On first down, DeLeon Eskridge with the carry, and Eskridge out near the 25-yard line.
Well, Kevin, it's certainly a good sign that Matt Scott is out there. Coaches want to see what he can do in his third preseason game. Making some nice throws.
And he's shown a good arm throughout camp.
Very athletic, strong arm. He's picked up the offense.
On second down, Eskridge again. Breaking 1 tackle, and Eskridge able to get out to the 27-yard line, a couple yards short of the first. It is a preseason game. The records will only be remembered by a few folks, but from the team's standpoint, how important is it for them to have a win in this game?
Well, it's very important, and I think even more important is the fact that you can see that they made huge strides this week. We talked about the turnovers going down, the penalties going down. They responded to the challenge from their coaches, and they look like just a more sound football team.
3rd and 2, Scott's pass caught, first down. There's Shipley able to move the chains. Good concentration by Jordan Shipley, catching that with a defender right in front and moving the sticks.
Well, Shipley with an out route. Matt Scott delivering an accurate throw. Great concentration.
Shipley trying to make this squad. We've seen him as a punt returner tonight. He's been pretty effective. As Eskridge gets the carry out to the 40-yard line, a 2-yard gain on first down. Everett Brown again on the stop for Philadelphia. This Eagles squad's going to be an interesting team to watch this year as they learn their new offense as well. Philly Fanatic getting a little glimpse on one of the cards on the sidelines. That division is going to be a real interesting one to watch. Washington, Dallas, Philadelphia, and all of those teams with a stake to to that division. And, of course, don't forget about the New York Giants.
Well, that division is always very interesting.
Eskridge with flags down and movement.
Well, this is pretty typical in the fourth quarter.
False start. Offense number 64. 5-yard penalty. Still second down.
Drew Nowak. Look on that right side of the line. That's where Nowak is. Also got Austin Pastor to jump as well. Everybody anxious on the right side. Second and 13 at the 35-yard line. Scott, good throw and a nice catch across the 40 down to the 42-yard line. Charlie Martin with the grab for Jacksonville.
Well, again, Matt stands in there, throws an accurate ball. Charlie Martin. Charlie's only been with the team a couple weeks. Getting a catch for the Jaguars.
I'm impressed with the poise Matt Scott has shown and the strength on that arm.
I really have been impressed. He knows this is a critical game for him. He wants to remain a Jaguar.
Sets up the pass a little bit out of the reach of Jeremy Ebert. Fortunately for Matt Scott, it was also out of the reach of Jordan Poyer, the defensive back.
Yeah, as soon as we said that, he makes a poor decision there. That could have been ugly. If that ball is a foot lower, he might be aiming for the far pylon trying to make a tackle.
So Scott's number 6 of 11 for 52 yards. His former college teammate Nick Foles will likely go back to work here. Nick Miller back deep for the Eagles. A lot of hang time on that punt from Parrish. Bouncing inside the 5, takes a great turn, and that's going to die at about the 1-yard line. What a punt for Jacksonville's Ken Parrish.
That could not have been any better.
Man, oh man. Down by Charlie Martin at the 1-yard line. Ken Parrish making a name for himself as the backup punter. Plants this one at the 1-yard line. Eagles pinned deep when we return. Our Bueller Swiss Watch player of the game, the starting quarterback tonight, Chad Henne, 11 of 18, 106 yards, 2 touchdowns and the interception, and he managed the offense extremely well, Mark. Nice night for Chad Henne.
Well, Chad may not be the starter, but he is ready when called upon.
Nice touchdown pass to Blackman, one of his 2 touchdowns tonight. Here's the Blackman toss. Chad Henne, our Bueller Swiss Watch player of the game, and a good night for Chad Henne and the Jaguars trying to hang on for their first preseason win. They've got a 1-point lead with 7:03 to go. And they are challenging the punt as to whether or not it was downed. Did it make the end zone? Was there contact with the goal line? Not there.
Not there.
Did the hand of Charlie Martin sneak near it?
Well, they may be questioning whether Charlie went into the end zone. That left foot right there.
Yeah.
Might have touched the...
Did it touch the goal line?
Goal line. Or that left hand.
Yeah. It's going to be an interesting challenge. And the frustrating thing for the Jaguars, if this does go the Eagles' way, is that I don't know Martin necessarily needed to cover that one up because it looked like it was going to die right there.
Yeah, that ball wasn't going anywhere.
It's a terrific punt by Parrish, who's got an uphill climb to make this roster when you've got Brian Anger, who was terrific last year, set the NFL rookie record for gross punting and for net punting, finished 3rd in the NFL with 30 punts of 50 yards or more. You don't really feel like there's a backup punter job open necessarily in Jacksonville, but if nothing else, if Ken Parrish isn't going to make this roster, he's punting well enough to make a roster somewhere.
No question, Kevin. He's going to find a job. He'll be with the group on opening day. He's certainly punting well enough tonight.
After reviewing the play, the ruling on the field stands. Philadelphia is charged with a first timeout and first challenge.
And that verbiage indicates they didn't see anything that would have overturned it. And Tara's standing by with our player of the game, Chad Henne.
All right, Chad, plain and simple, great game tonight.
Yeah, I mean, I thought we did some good things. We had a great first drive and a great first drive in the second half. Obviously, there's some miscues in the between that, but overall, I think we finished and did a good job out there.
All right, how great would it be to win this game tonight?
Oh, it's definitely great, and we've been talking about it all week, just to finish, and it's up to our guys out there now. We're going to cheer them on, and hopefully we do come out with a victory.
All right, thanks so much, Chad.
Thank you.
He was really good tonight, and that offense showed some very good signs for the future. Nick Foles from the 1-yard line, from his own end zone. Foles getting a little breathing room over the middle to Emil Egwenagu, the first-year back out of UMass.
I'm glad you called that name.
Been working on it all week.
Probably took all week to get it.
2nd down and 3 at the 8-yard line. And not a lot of running room this time. Trying to go up the middle was the attempt. Jones on the tackle. Not much there for Matthew Tucker. 3rd down and 2 at the 9-yard line. Foles with the swing pass to Tucker. He's got the first down and more. Tucker fighting for extra yardage across the 25 and down at the 27-yard line. An 18-yard gain before Brandon Marshall could bring him down.
Well, Nick Foles just sees an opening in the flat. As he drops back, gets the ball out quick, understanding that pressure is coming down on him. Good accurate ball. The first down. Tucker
buried in the backfield this time. Nowhere to go as he ran into big number 98 T.J. Barnes, the rookie out of Georgia Tech.
Well, I think if Chip Kelly's smart, he'll just keep letting Nick Foles throw it. Throwing some completions, making good decisions, moving the team.
2nd and 12 at the 25. Brown to the outside, has the speed to get to the corner. Bryce Brown upended across the 40-yard line by Ray Polk, but a first down and a good run by Bryce Brown, who's had some very nice moments tonight for Philadelphia.
He really has, Kevin. How many times have we seen this sweep be effective against the Jaguar defense? They haven't found an answer to make sure that running back's getting around the end.
Foles off play action. Over the middle, Johnson with the grab into Jaguar territory at the 44-yard line. Another first down, a pickup on the play of 14.
Well, once again, Nick Foles with his up-tempo read option offense. I think this is what Chip Kelly is talking about. The speed of the game, the efficiency of the game.
And Brown the give up the middle. Brown dragging would-be tacklers down to the 36, an 8-yard pickup for Brown. Nick Foles, who lost the starting quarterback battle this week to Michael Vick, really impressing with his performance here in relief tonight.
Well, he impressed last year for the Eagles. That's a very good football game, as we said, broke some passing records for the Eagles.
And another first down as Bryce Brown able to find enough room. Marcus Trufant on the tackle for Jacksonville. Under 4 minutes to go here in the fourth, but the Eagles down a point, knocking on the door at the Jacksonville 32-yard line. Good test for the backups here as Jacksonville tries to find some depth on that defensive side. Foles with the toss. Down the sideline goes Matthew Tucker. And Tucker's going to have another first down out of bounds at the 20. Chased out by Brandon Marshall. Philadelphia Eagles as Tucker limps to the sideline. Trying to grab a late lead here. Jacksonville trying to figure out a way to stymie Nick Foles and the up-tempo Eagle offense.
Well, they tried it with that last play. They brought Marcus Trufant off the edge with a corner blitz.
Foles sets up. And out of bounds goes Brown. Couldn't really get it turned upfield, just picks up 2.
Foles has been very smart. He's just taking what the defense has given him the last 2 plays. Flats have been wide open, throwing completions, and just methodically moving the ball down the field. Very close to getting some points for the Eagles.
How about those numbers? 9 for 10 for 105 yards.
I'd say 90% is pretty good completion percentage.
I think so. Brown again with the carry. Breaking tackles, and Bryce Brown, the former #1 overall recruit coming out of high school into the college ranks, has the Eagles close to another first down. Josh Evans in there on the stop for Jacksonville. 3rd down. Foles with time. Swing pass to Brown. Brown breaking tackles inside the 5 and powering his way to the 4 where it's 1st and goal for Philadelphia.
And again here you see Foles. The play action. Gets it out to his running back on the swing pass. Really good effort by the running back, breaking some tackles and getting inside the 5.
And Jacksonville's going to use a timeout before the 1st and goal play.
Nick Foles looks to his right. Very patient. In control. Throws a nice ball. Bryce Brown getting some extra yards after the catch.
So while Nick Foles talks with Chip Kelly, we'll mention again that this is USA Football Month, and Heads Up Football is a new program designed and developed by USA Football and supported by the National Football League, dedicated to making the game better and safer. And where they're starting is with youth football. This is below the high school ranks, below, and this is the midget, the peewee leagues, where you're talking about heads-up tackling, coaching certification, concussion recognition and response, player safety coaches, and proper equipment fitting, all designed to make the game better and safer from the youth leagues all the way up, so that we can keep enjoying the game of football for many, many years to come.
Well, I certainly applaud the NFL for supporting the Heads Up Football program. Basically just trying to make this game safer for our young football players.
1st down and goal from the 4. To the outside, Polk tripped up as he turned the corner, and Chris Polk, no gain. It'll be 2nd and goal from the 4. Jaguars calling that timeout defensively. They have 1 remaining. Eagles content to huddle up. We've not seen this at all tonight.
Well, what the Eagles are doing is they want to burn some clock. They do not want to give the ball back to the Jaguars. They're at least going to come back out of here with a field goal. Don't want to give Matt Scott any time to move that ball and go up for the win.
Polk this time to the left side, and Polk into the end zone for the touchdown, and the Eagles take the lead.
There we go with that sweep again. Great drive by the Eagles. Very impressed with Nick Foles.
And he's looked terrific tonight in managing that offense, and the tempo's really been up since he came in, capped by this touchdown run.
Well, you wonder if that decision by Chip Kelly was premature as far as who the starting quarterback was, because clearly Nick Foles is playing some solid football.
Now they'll try a 2-point conversion. Came out to do one earlier and had a 5-yard penalty assessed, and then ended up kicking the extra point. So Foles and the Eagles will try to extend to a full touchdown lead here. Polk the motion man. Polk gets the carry, and Polk into the end zone for the 2-point conversion, and it's a 7-point lead for Philadelphia with 2 minutes and 12 seconds to play in Jacksonville. Well, what a ball game it's been so far tonight. Nick Foles, former Arizona quarterback, leads Philadelphia back. Now if former Arizona quarterback Matt Scott gets his turn to try to lead the Jaguars back. All across this Jaguars television network, 2:12 remaining in the 4th, and you see the growing network of stations. We appreciate each and every one of you for being along with us throughout the preseason on one of the largest preseason television networks in the nation. And it's been a good game tonight, a fun game, and I think when you look at ones versus ones tonight, Jaguar fans have a lot to feel good about. Eagles have a lot to feel good about on a 14-play, 99-yard drive that took 4 minutes and 49 seconds. That's quick to go 99 yards.
Yeah, it really is. And regardless of how this game turns out, regardless of the score, Jaguar fans can feel good about the performance of their football team tonight. Defensively, offensively, did some very, very good things. Obviously, the ending is not what they had hoped, but you've got a lot of young players out there that needs some experience.
Alex Henry's kickoff fielded by Tobias Palmer, who takes a knee, and the touchback will bring the Jaguars out to the 20-yard line. Jacksonville has one timeout plus the 2-minute warning, down by a touchdown, and it's going to be new quarterback Mike Kafka who will get the chance to try to lead the Jaguars back here in the final 2:12 of this fourth quarter.
What a great opportunity for Matt Kafka. Opportunity to tie this game, maybe put it into overtime.
Mike Kafka picked up in June off waivers from the Patriots, was cut by the Eagles in camp last season and was not with a team last year. And Mike Kafka on first down, pressure comes, Kafka is in trouble, dumps it off to Grimes. And Grimes able to keep his footing. A flag comes in as Grimes is down at the 25-yard line.
Well, good awareness by Kafka. They're really turning nothing into something, getting it into Grimes' hands.
And now a confab as to what to do with this penalty.
Tripping. Defense number 50. 10-yard penalty from the end of the run. Automatic first down.
It's Casey Matthews. He and Jamar Chaney are in a real battle with Emmanuel Acho and Jake Knott for those backup linebacker positions. Acho and Knott have had some very good camps and are really pushing Matthews and Chaney, and that penalty probably won't help the case for Matthews.
No, it won't.
From the 35, first and 10. Kafka under pressure, hit. The ball is out and covered up by Jacksonville. Kafka got blasted, and fortunately for the Jaguars, R.J. Dill, the rookie from Rutgers, was able to cover it up as we've reached the 2-minute warning with 1:55 to go in the fourth quarter. And that backside pressure from Travis Long leaves us with 1:55 to go. 31-24, Philadelphia with the lead, 1:55 remaining in the fourth. 2nd and 17 at the 28-yard line for Jacksonville. Mike Kafka, third quarterback on for the Jaguars tonight. A nice grab, but out of bounds. Tobias Palmer really trying to save that high throw, but he could not keep his footing along the sideline.
Yeah, that ball was up in the air pretty high. Tobias, great effort there. Just not able to get his other foot down.
See the numbers in the preseason for Kafka. 15 yards and the interception. Hasn't had a lot of opportunities.
You know, Matt Scott has certainly got the bulk of the work as far as the backup roles behind Lane and Chad.
3rd and 17. Kafka under pressure again, and Kafka sacked. That pressure coming hot and heavy from Everett Brown, who forced him up. And it's 4th down.
Well, Mike doesn't get a great snap there, and quickly has pressure on him, forces him to get up in the pocket. Tried to break free for a big run, but wasn't able to do it.
Final timeout taken by Jacksonville. 7 sacks tonight for Philadelphia of Jaguar quarterbacks, and a lot of that's happened in the second half. As we check in downstairs once more with Tara.
All right, you guys are taking a look at a lifelong Jags fan. This is Andre. He tells me he is so happy with what he's seen from the team tonight. He says they look good, and he knows that we are going to win more games this year than last year. He says the great thing that he sees is that we have some playmakers this year, and it's something that he feels like he has not seen in a long time.
Well, he's fired up. 1:41 to go in the fourth quarter, the third preseason game, and he's still ready to go.
He's a faithful, Jaguar faithful.
A lot to be excited about tonight for the Jaguars. Gus Bradley, I'm sure, will walk away with a lot of things to be pleased with. as you sometimes get in the late stages of a preseason game. A little uneven late, and it has, especially in pass protection for the Jaguars.
Yeah, it really has. It's really not an easy situation for Mike Kafka.
And after this game, Gus Bradley, Dave Caldwell, the general manager, the staff, all with a little work to do. Cuts are coming. Got to be down to 75 from the current 88 by 4 o'clock on Tuesday. A little lateral play trying to keep things alive to get the first down, and they're not going to be able to do it. Good idea, but on 4th and 19, a little too much to gain for the Jaguars.
Yeah, it's in everybody's playbook in the NFL. They'll hook and ladder with an extra ladder. 4th and 19, very difficult.
Well, certainly an interesting play, but it was not our Bud Light play of the game. That came earlier in the game, and that came when Jordan Todman went 63 yards for the touchdown that gave the Jaguars the halftime lead. Todman tonight was very, very good as the Eagles take the knee. Jordan Todman, our Bud Light play of the game, part of a 105-yard performance on just 8 carries for Jordan Todman tonight, and in a battle to back up Maurice Jones-Drew and Justin Forsett, who's been out all of the preseason. Jordan Todman certainly making a statement tonight.
Yeah, it really has. And somebody else that's looked very good is Nick Foles tonight. Very impressed with him. Second-year player. Looks like a guy that's been around for a long time.
Well, the Eagles want him to continue to grow in this offense because it's an offense that's going to take a toll on any quarterback. Michael Vick hoping to stay out there for the whole season, but he made just 10 starts last year. Got to have a capable backup in this league, and I think both of these teams feel pretty good about the backup quarterbacks that they've seen in tonight's game.
Yeah, and I would say these two guys are in Foles and Henne are two of the best backups in the league. The way they've been playing in the preseason and what they bring to their offenses. Both guys had good nights tonight.
Each made 6 starts a year ago, but tonight the win will belong to the Philadelphia Eagles, who come from behind late to take a 31-24 victory over the Jacksonville Jaguars. Eagles now 2-1 in the preseason. The Jags fall to 0-3. But a lot of good things to talk about in that Jacksonville room, and now some tough decisions to be made for both of these teams. Cut down day is coming. You've got to get the roster down to 75 before that final preseason game next week.
You know, it's one of the toughest parts of preseason. Actually, the toughest part of preseason is the cut day. And these young men have worked very, very hard. And, you know, it's unfortunate. Hopefully they get an opportunity with another team. But, you know, a fair amount of players have to leave this Jaguar roster. It's one of the most difficult experiences during training camp to see these guys getting called to the head coach's office and being asked to go in a different direction.
It's a tough task. Some of these guys are going to hear that call. Luke Jokel, not one of them this week. Cecil Shorts the third, not another one as well. And Jordan Todman, one of those guys who's hoping to make this roster. He's standing by with Tara Barnes.
Jordan, you had a great game tonight.
Yeah, thank you. Appreciate it.
That play, 63 yards, just talk about how you were feeling out there.
Before the play, you know, me and the line and the fullback, we were talking and watching film and what they've been doing, and you know, pretty much try to press it, and I did so. I put my foot in the ground, cut back, and the line did a great job blocking backside, helped with the cuts, and I was off to the races right there. And I seen the hole, I seen the yard and the space, and I just hit it full speed, trying to make a touchdown, and luckily I did.
Even though you guys lost tonight, it really seems like everybody's really upbeat on the sidelines here.
Definitely upbeat. You know, we came out here, we worked hard. We did good at some times, and you know, we're just learning off our mistakes and then putting it all together so we could play good football for 4 quarters straight and just, you know, come out with victories and get wins and just get better day by day.
Do you feel a sense of relief tonight coming out and having such a great game, trying to make the roster?
I never relief, man. I never lay back, never do anything. I go full speed every play I do, anything I do, every opportunity that I get, because you know, nothing's guaranteed, and I never take anything for granted. I had a good game today, but I feel like there's always room to get better, and you know, today this game is over, on to the next game, and hopefully I perform better.
And what are you going to work on before we head to Atlanta?
Just studying film and any mistakes that I made, you know, running hard and studying, knowing where I need to be and doing the right things, and just more heart, more ethic, and just giving it all on the field.
All right, Jordan, we appreciate your time. Thanks so much.
Appreciate it. Take care.
Well, great responses from Jordan Todman, and that's the attitude you've got to have, isn't it, Mark? When you're a guy who's trying to make a roster, you can't relax even after you've had a solid night.
Well, you're exactly right, but I just became a huge Jordan Todman fan. I love his responses, his answers to Tara's questions. What a great young man. And I love those stories. Guys that potentially are on the bubble go out and perform very, very well. I'd be very excited if he was able to make this football team.
105 yards tonight on just 8 carries. The former 6th-round draft pick by the Chargers in 2011. Spent most of that season with San Diego on the practice squad. Played a game last year. Really made a nice name for himself in this 3rd preseason game. Unfortunately for the Jaguars, they fall tonight 31-24. That is the final score. Much more to come from Everbank Field in just a moment. Stay with us right here on the Jaguars Television Network.